Welcome everybody to Nightcap Season 2. I'm Maria, as I always have been, and I think I'll continue to be until this episode airs, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe I won't be anymore. Today, friends, I am here with some of my favorite people in the entire world, which I know I've said a couple of times, but like, look at them all. They're so great. If you don't know who these faces and these people are, this is the majority, at least, of the Outlaws Network. Hi, everyone. Hold on.
And I'm Jorge.
I tried so hard not to pew pew pew.
I thought we were.
I was like,
Oh
pew,
my
pew,
god,
pew.
we could do a whole intro thing. Okay.
Well, then everybody just
Welcome
spread it
to
around.
Outlaws and Old Ones. Yay! I did it.
I
I
actually
did
never
it.
do the pews because I'm usually hosting.
You got
them,
the
so-
pew.
Oh my god, you got
I
to
got the
pew.
pew.
How did it feel?
Congratulations.
I don't like it. I'm not that type of excitable.
Well, you know, that's too bad.
No
But you can
pews
just
for
do like
Jorge.
a pew.
I did
pew,
like a
pew.
pew pew.
Hey.
I'm an
Pew, pew, pew.
excellent audience member. I will always like,
Always go to
audience
Emily for-
participator.
Exactly.
I'm just like, oh my god, did you see that? This is actually the entire Outlaws Network we have here.
Well, okay, the honorary outlaw from eons past, Taylor. Pour one out for Taylor.
Or
He's
Taylor.
alive.
He's alive.
He's around.
He's around. He's just busy.
I promise he's around. He's here.
swear.
But everybody will be able to see your names, but going around doing honorary call outs for who you are so people can hear who you are, starting in my let's start with Jorge.
That's me.
Hi. Hello.
What do I don't
don't
that's
know.
me. Do I
We'll
say
start
anything
with
else?
you.
Is
You
it-
just pass. No.
I
Okay,
pass.
it's you.
I popcorn I popcorn to John.
Hello, I'm John Downey from the Outlaws Network and Downtime with John and Emily.
Oh my god, this is going exactly the way I
What
thought
did you
it was.
think?
He,
going.
him.
I don't know. Oh yes, yeah.
I would like to
so-
redo mine, please.
Okay.
Back to pass, please.
Okay, here's how we'll do this. Well, you can introduce yourself however you feel like, but we will start with Jorge.
Oh, I was just gonna have John popcorn back to me.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
would like to popcorn back to Jorge.
Thank you,
Perfect.
John. I am Jorge. I am the keeper for Outlaws and Old Ones, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Bloody Stream. Pronouns they them.
Perfect.
And I now popcorn to Brian.
And I'm Brian. I finally get to say the and.
Oh yeah.
I'm also a performer on Outlaws and Old Ones. I almost said the Outlaws Network, and also a co-host of the Bloody Stream. I will popcorn it to Shannon.
Hi,
Him.
ayo,
Fuck,
it's me.
I'm so sorry.
Ah, you fool.
I am not. I was gonna say I'm so not used to that conversation.
I am Shannon. I use they them pronouns. I'm on everything. Honestly, I'm on Outlaws and Old Ones primarily, but you can find me everywhere. I'm coming
out.
I'm coming on back to all the podcasts. I have guested on every podcast on the network. So
True.
everyone else has as well. Yeah. But, you know.
Everyone has, but that's a special crown that Shannon gets to wear.
Yes.
I am popcorning to my new adopted brother Emily.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Emily. I am a cryptid. I show up sometimes. People are like, "What's that?" And sometimes it was. Yeah, my name is Emily. I'm on Downtime with John and Emily, and I've been around the Outlaws Network and other properties of it. And my pronouns are she, her. And I'm gonna popcorn back to my biological brother, John.
I get another
You
joke.
get a redo. Yeah, you're the end cap
Before
now.
the
What do you all else need me to plug? Because I did.
Popcorn it over.
What do
I
we-
guess I'm
Whatever.
also on Outlaws and Old Ones, which I didn't say.
That's
I played
true.
the world famous
Wow.
P.T. Sinclair.
Still
and that's-
living for
That's
now.
very fun.
Barely.
I'm on
Allegedly.
a show on the Huntsman's Hydra, which is cool. It's
Oh,
called
yeah.
Fire in the
Oh,
Dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
pretty
are.
fun.
That's pretty
There's
sick.
there's more projects that I'm gonna be on in the works.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are. I've also guested on almost every podcast in the Outlaws Network, except for Are We Friends, which doesn't exist
that's
anymore.
dead.
But
Yeah,
That's,
sorry.
we
It's
gotta
dead.
strike all that because it's all
It's
that's
dead.
defunct. Yeah,
it's gone. It's gone. But so you heard all these people say a lot of different things, and the Outlaws Network is a network of podcasts and entertainment things like live streams, videos, all of the videos are of the live streams, but it's entertainment at its finest. TTRPG, horror movie reviews, whatever John and Emily decide to do on their show.
I was waiting to see what you were gonna say. For that.
Yeah, I was really curious.
Siblings who don't know anything, you know?
Siblings, and
We
sometimes
teach
other people.
how to do the things they
That's-
need to learn how to do.
And we
Right.
shoot the shit,
Like,
you
yeah,
know? Like,
and sometimes
No, it's
you
all
give-
business all the
it's
time.
all shit all the time.
Mr. and Mrs. Business.
it is a fair amount of shit, to be fair. Not the quality of the podcast.
No.
We do just talk about shit a lot.
Yeah,
And-
the episode that I
Oh,
guested
it
on
is.
was primarily
Scatological,
shit.
yeah.
That was
It was
mostly
mostly
shit,
shit.
the one
Like
that Maria
poo-poo?
was on.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
poo-poo,
But
like,
you
like
speak
poo-poo
a
shit.
whole
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about it a whole lot.
Brian
it was-
referred to
Oh,
y'all
I
as
fucked it up.
Mr. and Mrs.
I
Business,
know,
which
I
doesn't
know.
make sense because it's a podcast about siblings who don't know. Well, I guess that
Well,
also works.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
work. How could
Well,
it
it just
work?
means that
know.
Mrs. Business is married to someone who
Someone
isn't Mr.
also
Business, and she kept her
Happens
last
to have
name.
business- yeah,
Or his
Or
last name is
being
also
used.
Yes,
business.
that's correct.
Or,
But I think you
or-
pronounce it
or-
Or
differently.
he married Mrs. Business's sister and took
Took-
her last name.
There it is.
There.
A lot going on here. A lot to
Oh,
unpack.
there we go.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot.
Feminism.
The family tree
Yay.
is complicated.
You're welcome.
So before we get into the weeds of wherever the weeds will take us, I wanted to really dial back the time clock situation of the Outlaws Network, because y'all have known each other for what I can only assume is at least 1,000 years.
Yeah, that sounds
Accurate.
I've known Emily
I
since
want-
birth.
That's
You-
oh my
And I was
God.
born
all your
1,000
life.
years ago.
Since
Um,
your birth,
Cryptid.
John.
Cryptid.
Well, look, I can
Cryptid.
only go back so far, Jorge.
So I wanted to I've heard the stories before, but I want to open the floor to you all to tell the story of how in the world the Outlaws Network became a thing. You don't have to tell me how you all met, cuz spoiler everyone, they've known each other for a very long time. Like it's like from birth and also childhood.
Early
Decade
high
plus,
school
at
stuff.
least.
So
Yeah,
it's
we
nothing-
met as
Yeah.
teens.
10-year
Yeah.
They
minimum.
friends. They have
Yeah.
friend
10-year
crew.
minimum is a good way to
Yeah,
put it.
plenty of
Yeah.
fun shenanigan stories from those days, but I don't think anything particularly interesting for
Yeah.
meeting. I think the Downies should start with they have the oldest property on the network.
Yeah.
Tell us. Yeah,
John,
well tell
you wanna
us
take
how your
it?
how
Sure.
kind of the progression of this is how your the shows themselves got conceptualized, but with the overarching idea of how the Outlaws Network as a whole kind of came to be.
Yeah. I'm actually interested to hear once we get done with our bit to hear how the next part goes, because I actually don't think I've ever asked how the Are We Friends era started. But
Oh, yeah.
so downtime with John and Emily. I mean, Emily and I we've always been very close. Like even when we were little kids, we were always like best friends. And so all throughout
Just-
like
I know what Emily looks like as a child. I imagine her in her little overalls and blonde hair, and both of you holding hands.
Oh, there's plenty of pictures like that. We were
Oh.
besties. Like
We were good
seriously.
Kids holding hands is fucking weird.
What are you talking about?
That's
Gotta
scary.
hold more hands.
I only watch horror films. It's fucking scary.
You
I
watch
don't
too
know.
much horror.
Oh, because I
Yeah.
see the type
I
of
mean-
the kid you're seeing.
we were omen to a couple grisly murders at
Yeah.
that point in our life as well. But
Predicted plenty of
after
those.
that, yeah, we just always, it's the same conversation that everybody has in college with their friends. They're just like, they sit around and they make each other laugh and they're like, we should record this. And so
Yeah.
for a long time, I mean, most of this group was also theater kids. What's up? And so we got into, Emily was just graduated from college and I was in my senior year of college, and we decided, even though I was in a performance major, I still didn't feel like I was doing enough performing and creating.
We weren't making anything.
We weren't making
Hmm.
anything. And
Yeah.
when we were in high school, I mean, the theater program that most of us came through was like very prolific. We were doing multiple shows at a time sometimes. So
Yeah.
we were
Mm.
always performing, and we just kind of missed it
Yeah.
a lot. So
Yeah.
we decided we talked about doing a podcast or something like it for a long time, and then we just kind of decided, just fuck it, let's just record something and just to do it, just to feel like we're creating something again. And so that was in 2016, and we've just been doing it since then. We had
Such
like
a
a
long
couple.
time.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We had a couple long hiatuses in there where
Yeah.
Emily was abroad in magnificent countries that don't have great Wi-Fi, so it's kind of difficult to keep up.
Well, I didn't have great Wi-Fi in
yeah.
those countries, like, available to people who were not like as poor as I
Where
was.
she
Yes.
was
Sorry,
specifically didn't.
Or
that's
like, I
that's a
think-
faux pas on my part.
I
She
think
was
I
literally
had
on like research projects.
Yeah.
that
I had
no reason
6
to have Wi-Fi.
roommates in Argentina. Like it was not.
I
Yeah.
feel
Not a
like
good
the monkeys are up in their trees with great Wi-Fi playing Minecraft.
Yeah, they were just laughing at me.
Streaming and just
Yeah. So how many episodes are you now as of this recording? How many episodes are you at of
Why-
downtime?
Why would
We're
you have
getting-
to ask that?
Because
no.
I'm surprised you didn't see this
Emily.
coming.
I gotta see that. dude.
Emily, shut up! I never said anything about it being a weekly podcast.
That's true.
No,
Because
no.
it's
Well,
not.
now-
It would
now
be
you
a
did.
lie.
Definitely
It would be a
is.
lie to
It's
say
fully,
it is.
it's fully not. Uh,
It is a podcast that
we-
comes out at its earliest convenience, and
available.
y'all get to appreciate it when
So
it
if we
goes
do
live.
the math from 2016,
Stop
that's
it.
what, like
Boy.
4, 5, 6 years time.
we are
No,
nearing
just go to your Spotify and see how many
Find the
episodes
I'm
there are.
I'm literally looking at the number.
Great.
I think
We are nearing our 200th episode.
Hey.
Our most recent episode was 196.
Oh my
So,
god.
4 episodes from now will be
Well,
our 200th episode.
So if
yeah.
anyone wants to do something like approximately a month and a half from now, just let us know.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
should
There
you
you
should
go.
invite us all to come on for a big 200.
We
We'll see
really
how
should
this
have like
goes.
Yeah.
planned to try and do it just immediately after this, because getting this group of 6 people together again in a month
Well,
is gonna
we-
be tough.
Regularly, the rest of us regularly meet except for Emily. We just have
Oh,
to get
that's a
Emily
good
to
point.
come to a Thursday recording.
Emily's hard to get. I can talk to.
That's
I
what I
can
hear,
talk to
yeah.
people,
I hate to bring it up, but I got Emily here, so I
That's
don't know
true.
what y'all are doing wrong.
But how many
That's
tries
right.
did it take?
Ooh.
I had to reschedule it, so
Yeah.
it was actually on
What?
me.
Well, no, the
But-
first one we just never got back to.
All right, well, all right.
And that was
Okay,
like
that's
time
just like a you
backward.
in my sister's defense, Emily was the first one to respond to
Correct.
the scheduling the second
Sure.
time. So
Very nice.
Yes.
I reminded everybody to do it while not doing it and forgot to do it.
This is the downside of having busy adults always.
Yes.
This-
Yeah.
No,
so-
we literally, it's calendar nightmare.
Yeah.
It's hellish, which is why it's so like wonderful that y'all managed to, for the most part, have a weekly Thursday night game. For the most
Yeah.
part,
Yeah,
life always
right?
finds a way.
It's
Most
been
of us
But
spotty
present.
lately, but yeah.
yeah. But okay, so it started with downtime downtime
With
and
Em-
Emily.
and Emily.
Downtime at Emily's, please.
That's downtime,
The
and then
most-
it's also Emily
the
as
most
well.
butchered podcast title.
Oh my god.
in history.
Consistently butchered.
John time with Down and Emily.
Downtime with Down and Emily
That's
is
my favorite
absolutely
iteration.
John time.
I have
Really
no qualms
good.
with that.
Actually, we should do a couple John time episodes.
Yeah, it's good.
That's
Solo
every
John.
episode, baby.
That's all.
Okay, so we started with the John and Emily show.
Yes.
What happened next?
So completely unrelated, several years later,
Yeah.
I've always been trying to. There's 2 things I want to do when I hang out with people. One of them is get blackout drunk, and then the other one is like create some sort of content. And that's always been the case, but it's like kind of hard to get people to do that like spur of the moment. And so I was really looking for projects that were like a lot easier to get people on board like more consistently. And Taylor and I were hanging out a lot at the time. And Taylor is our who no longer with us.
Our outlaw
alive.
emeritus
Again, he's
or something.
alive.
He's
Yeah,
alive.
Announced
He's
it.
alive.
Doing great.
He's alive.
So fine.
I contacted him first about like doing something together, like a podcast, and then we wanted a third person. We were just discussing who would be able to keep that dialogue going and stay light and fun for an infinite amount of time. And we selected Brian, who is notorious for having eluded me throughout our lifetime.
Yeah.
There's two parts of this, because the best part is we were in a conversation or whatever, and I just offhandedly mentioned after you had talked with Taylor about this, I'd offhandedly mentioned, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking of doing like a movie review thing or whatever, just to like do it. And Jorge's like,
Funny.
you don't fucking say. And immediately was like, hey, fucking perfect. But also, yes, this is a desperate attempt to just get me to a thing more than once every 6 months or blue moon or whatever arbitrary schedule I decide.
We knew we had a good dialogue together, so that's mainly what it was about. But it was an excellent bonus that we now got to keep Brian, and he moved down to Richmond, where most of us live.
This was how
They
long were
pod
you
trapped
guys?
me. They just.
How long were you guys doing Are We Friends while Brian was still in Nova?
I don't know. We
At
started
least a
in
year?
October of 2019.
Okay, so this was like it was like
2018.
Yeah.
2018.
Okay.
I was in Ethiopia when
Yeah,
y'all
she was
started.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Good
we were
God.
we were
Yeah,
on a
right.
hiatus for downtime, but you guys started a
I was
podcast.
so mad. Oh my god,
I want a
Sorry.
podcast.
I was furious. Like,
Why were
I
you
was like,
furious?
"What?" And they brought Brian in. Like,
John already had a podcast.
this guy from nowhere. They bring him back. Like, while I'm gone. Like,
Is nobody B-lister? Because our
I was
because you have
because I
you have a
such
consistent
terrible,
friend group, and so
such
me and
terrible
Taylor,
FOMO.
both of the Downies, we're all consistent like A-list members. Brian's a B-lister. you know,
God,
he
we
wasn't-
can't do the
Brian, you're never a B-list.
No, I'm a B-lister because
obviously
I'm the only
not.
person on the list. That's why it's B-list, because Brian is the
Brian.
name.
Starts with a B and Brian starts
My
with a B.
silver medal
Yeah.
looked
No,
like
it's-
a gold.
Brian
Okay? I'm
had
trying
a-
to make it.
Brian always had
I know,
an
yes.
open invitation to
Brian
the
had a
A-list
spot.
group.
Yes.
He had a spot waiting for him whenever.
Legitimately, yeah.
My favorite one to tell is one time I invited Brian over when we were
Every
in like high school or something,
Mhm.
and Brian's like, "Okay, I'm on my way over."
Wait, I
Cool.
sent the message.
Mhm.
Didn't hear from him for a month. Never showed up. Fucking gone.
Guess
Would
he
not respond to
died.
anything. Yeah.
Wasn't
But
even
guess
like
Brian's dead.
could have
I don't know.
seen me on the like the Monday after or whatever. There was no.
It was nothing. Oh my god.
Did you reach out to Brian?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh,
I
he
didn't
just
get
was
anything,
like-
yeah. He just gone.
I was gonna say.
Ghosted.
Yeah. So we did. Are we friends? Was that where the network kind of started up, or did we get into
Well, no.
Outlaws
So
as
we had our Re Friends going. That was just like
Yeah.
weekly random topic show of something that one of us liked because we have a lot of hobbies amongst the three of us.
Yes.
Mhm.
We got 100. We hit episode 100. We got like 100.
We have 165 episodes.
Yeah,
That's so many.
and
Yeah.
then
Because they literally didn't miss a week.
They
They were a
didn't.
We
weekly
did not miss
podcast.
one. I
that
forgot
didn't
about
miss a
that.
week.
There
That's
was
the thing.
there was
Yeah.
Oh,
one week where Brian and Taylor were both unavailable, and Jorge was about to do an episode by themselves, and then they were like, "Wait, Shannon, will you do an episode with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were living at our friend Devin's house in like one bedroom, and we literally sat on the bed holding two microphones. What was the name of that movie?
we just did a
Jungle to
recap
Jungle?
of the movie Jungle to Jungle.
Oh my god, Jungle to
What a
Jungle.
movie.
we had very
It's a good
specific.
episode. It's
well,
actually a
we're-
really good episode.
I like that episode. We had what were called Eat Shit episodes, where it's just like, look, we have to put it out. Like that's
Yeah.
what we did to ourselves, so we
We
don't.
are
it's
a
not,
weekly
you're not- you're
podcast.
we
not-
didn't
We
plan
have
ahead.
to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But then after that, John and I had been talking because we both like TRPGs a lot, and we were just like, let's just do a weekly like recorded one because that will make. I know for myself, it makes it a lot easier to have a planned thing like that if I get to keep something forever from doing it, rather
Mhm.
than like
Sure.
I'm always gonna make other plans if it's just like a fun thing that is just then gone for me. That's why I don't play video games as much anymore. 'cause
And this was
a lot of
right
time
when
just slips through my fingers.
this was right when COVID started, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
Close to it, yeah.
COVID, it's sort of, I mean, I think this happened to a lot of people where it was like, COVID obviously was a horrible thing and it still is, but it did sort of create a lot of opportunity to do stuff like this because
Mhm.
everyone's home. Like
Yeah.
you just have
Home and needing
more free
something
time.
to
Can't
do.
get away.
We
yeah.
were
Right, we're stuck
literally
with it, yeah.
we were literally on Zoom with each other every single day. Like it
Yeah.
would be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
4
yeah.
p.m. we're on Zoom again.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
would just like hang out on Zoom and chat or play
Everybody
games together or whatever.
Played a lot
and
of
we,
West now.
we were just doing it
Mhm.
anyway. Yeah, Battle for West North. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just
Drank
want to
all
bring
day.
up. I just want to bring up that the initial COVID ones were I was full Bart looking out the window at everyone playing on the Snow Day episode because my work was in no way affected by it. So everyone was going, "Woo, we can just party and drink it." I'm like, I literally can't right now.
I was on
I would
that
like
full
bye and it'd just be like,
champagne bathrobe lifestyle. Man.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
I didn't
Brian,
get, I didn't get any time off either. I was working.
I didn't
from home.
either.
This is completely insensitive. I was unemployed, not making any money, and
Yeah, me
you're
too.
trying to say that
Sorry.
like life was just good for me. You're right. It was amazing. It was the best
Well,
time of my
then you're
life.
correct.
Yeah,
I
because
loved every moment of it.
all my contracts fell through, so I got that sweet government money.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I think that the start of COVID kind of contributed to the Outlaws and Old Ones starting,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
We had
100%.
Jorge and
But
I
you-
were scheming. We had
Yeah.
we
Well,
knew
to
everyone
give-
had the availability, and we were
And then
like,
we just
let's
well,
keep
once you get in, you can't get out. You know.
Yeah,
Once you got
well,
it
to
caught.
give a little bit of context, like from like y'all's perspective, I know that we've talked about it before. That this was not your first foray into Call of Cthulhu. Into
No.
that y'all have done that for. There's high
So-
school stories, y'all, like that I've
Yeah.
heard that are just great.
I'll just touch on it because I know
Please.
Shannon already does not want to hear it, but
For the
I'm
Billy
sorry,
Jean.
I heard it so many
Yeah.
times.
In such
Uh,
detail.
It's delightful. It's delightful. It's a wonderful journey.
me and one of our friends who you can hear often as a guest on the Bloody Stream, Devin, we would co-keeper, like we would do a double DM thing, like a very large Christmas event called Christmas of Cthulhu every year. We did it 6 years in a row, and so like all of us were very used to playing like these very large, elaborate Call of Cthulhu games with each other, and that's where I
Yeah,
got
like
most of
huge,
my-
like teens to 20 people.
The
right?
first one was
First
like
one.
15 people, I think.
Yeah.
It was probably the largest one.
Huge.
Yeah, and where we were split into a full good and evil team with their own keepers that would interact with each other at different points in the story because there's so many people.
high school, y'all. That's like that's so
Well,
cool.
We played very casual games. You know, we didn't make it very crunchy. Crunchy, is that the term?
That's the
Uh,
word. Yep.
Yeah, specifically so that, you know, people who aren't as into this could also come and have fun. And it's just
Yeah.
very accessible. And that's kind of what I try to carry over into what we do now, where it's a lot more for entertainment and not for like, you know, oftentimes
if you're here for Call of Cthulhu, I mean,
right.
you kind of get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when we first started Outlaws, it was everybody here except for Emily and Taylor in, because Taylor was still with us doing Are We Friends, and he was doing Outlaws and Old Ones. It's called Outlaws and Old Ones, and the network's called the Outlaws Network because of that show, and we called it Outlaws and Old Ones because John and I were playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption at the time.
Yo.
And we were just riding around on our horses in multiplayer, being like, "Well, what should we call this?"
we were trying to think of good names, and we were trying to do the thing that everybody does, where they try and figure out a name that's got the "and" in the middle, and you try and make it alliterative. And we went through so many options, and I will stake a claim that I was the one that suggested Outlaws and Old Ones, and that's the one. That
Oh,
stuck.
okay.
I
Sure,
don't remember.
thank
There
you.
were some other decent ones. I don't remember what they were.
I
I'm
feel
sure it's
like
in the chat.
Shannon
box
had
somewhere.
something to do with this.
I came up with the Outlaws Network.
That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was we
Which is pretty
decided to
easy.
take to
Hey,
name
yeah.
the network after Outlaws and Old Ones, because that was like the property that blended the two existing
Everybody was in,
properties
yeah.
of, at that time, Downtime with John and Emily and Are We Friends?
Because Emily was guesting on that from like Ep 2, Ep 3.
Yeah,
like
pretty
they're
frequently. Yeah,
there.
and
I
early on.
missed like several episodes in the beginning, so it's like, hey, Shannon's in, Shannon's gone, Emily's here now. Emily's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I had agreed to do it on an occasional basis.
Yes.
Per
'Cause they were
appearance,
like,
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
gonna have
Young
to,
Outlaws.
because everyone had said, you know, we're gonna do this thing. Everyone can do it. You're gonna need 3 hours every Thursday, and I was
Yeah.
like,
No
no.
way.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
can't.
You
I
had me
can't
until-
commit.
Her price
And
tag
that
was
was-
too high, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
We were-
and that
and
was
we
the
were-
thing.
We were very
st-
clear.
from-
Because we were
From-
just like, if you want to be core cast member, like you have to commit to this. Otherwise, just
Yeah.
come in whenever you feel like it. You know?
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
easy.
And we also had an idea from the beginning, which didn't stick because we all wanted to be there every week. Like we just wanted to do it. But we had the idea to pitch it. Jorge and I were like scheming on how we were going to get our friends to agree to this. And we were like, okay, we'll pitch it. And we'll just say like, we want at least 3 players every week. And we'll pitch it to the whole friend group. And like, it doesn't matter who shows up. If your character can't be there, we'll drop them and we'll just go on with
Yeah.
whoever 3 people can show up.
That sounds chaotic.
Gonna say,
Yeah, it
very
does.
ambitious.
Yeah, thank goodness that didn't happen. That would have
Yeah.
been really
It would have
wild.
been it,
Yeah.
like
It
the
happened
story
from time
wouldn't
to time.
have- It did. There was like a couple times where we had to drop a character here and there, but for the most part, I mean that core group of 4 players, me, Brian, Shannon, and Taylor, we just showed up every week, so it never became a thing, and it was good for the continuity of the story. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked when one person wouldn't show up and we would do like a side adventure. We have like a ghosts only spin-off episode, like a
There was
backdoor
one
pilot.
episode- One episode where we could only get 2 players to show up. It was me and Brian, and we couldn't figure out another stream idea. So if you're familiar with Outlaws and Old Ones, there's 2 recurring ghosts that are named Tomahawk and Garbanzo.
Oh.
They
And
sound
we-
identical.
Yeah,
because they're both me, and I just
There's
sound the same.
And so we got to embody
Yes.
Tomahawk and Garbanzo and come up with like what they actually look like and sort of play them for a 2-hour session. That was very fun.
It's so fun.
That had an effect on the main story, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, then eventually Taylor had to stop streaming for his own reasons, and sadly, so we had to take him out. His character survived though and successfully retired, which is a rare thing. And
So
Unbelievable.
rare in Call of Cthulhu.
Especially for that character.
you know,
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
for
he
it.
was
With
really
the
asking for it.
Yeah.
And so we also decided to close out Are We Friends because it was
Yeah.
really like us 3. It was like a very friendship heavy, like focused.
If you couldn't
Podcast.
tell from the name and the gimmick
Mhm.
and everything about it.
And
Yeah,
then
if you
I'm
just
like,
replace Taylor, if you feel like,
Oh.
guess not.
Would someone just have to come in and just pretend to be Taylor?
Whoa.
It's like, and
Whoa.
hi, I'm Taylor. It's
You
like,
recast
that's not
Taylor. You
just
Well,
I remember
my
season 2 Taylor.
Yeah, the original Taylor.
and my thing was I was the one thing I didn't like about Are We Friends is that it wasn't horror related, and I want all of my content to be horror related. So fast. I'm like, Brian, I got an idea. You're doing my idea. Let's do it now. We're done.
Which was
Lock it
actually Brian's idea from the beginning,
From
right?
the
Because Brian
original
wanted to do
version.
a
like,
movie review.
It was a
I didn't even
perfect
think about
fusion
that,
of
yeah.
it was a
So you
fusion
stole
of
Brian's.
our things. Because
I think that's what that's what my pitch was. It was like,
Yes.
let's fuse our things so I can keep you.
Jorge's big. I always love listening to Jorge's pitches on stuff because the podcast one specifically was, I loved Are We Friends, but it was too like wide. Like there were too many things. Like I want like that hard niche that we can get into, and I'm like, how specific do you want to go? And they were like, horror movies. I'm like, okay, good. Like I thought we were gonna get really like in the
Butt
weeds of
stuff.
just yeah.
Yeah, we only cover
Whoa.
Leprechaun and Leprechaun sequels.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That we
The
kept
worst
that
of
over
idea
from
of
Are
all
We
time,
Friends.
but just Leprechaun movies.
Yeah.
Just Leprechaun.
Yeah.
In fact, only Leprechaun 1.
Oh, come on, at least like
Yikes.
2 or 3 or something with some juice.
It's honestly giving me anxiety the thought of having to watch Leprechaun again.
We
But,
watch all the Leprechauns we've been increasingly watching all of the Leprechauns. Oh, since Are We Friends now into the Bloody Stream every St. Patrick's Day like weekend time frame. That's
So does
Yeah,
that
and
end
this year,
And Bloody Stream started last year. Is that right?
last October?
last
yeah.
October,
Yeah.
yeah.
2021. I know years.
Yep.
Yep,
How
we started with
thrilling.
an episode a day for all October.
You sure did try to
That
do
was a
that.
night.
That was
Nightmare.
buck fucking wild.
I think you
did.
technically did. You technically
did.
did.
No, we did
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
They
yeah.
did it.
Yeah,
Oh, we
yeah,
100.
yeah.
100 It was.
There
it
were
was
some
an
like
episode every
11:50
single day.
p.m. episodes.
There were some we legally uploaded this on that day. Shut
Well,
up.
Yeah.
But,
when you
yeah.
look at, there's a lot of time zones in
Mhm.
the world. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, that's true.
we swung wide on that. in one thing.
Yeah.
Did not get to enjoy Halloween or anything else that
No
month
way.
because of that. So we're only doing 2 episodes a week this month.
Yeah.
This year
Oh.
we're
Which
having
is-
fun.
Only
is-
2.
Only 2 episodes a week.
two.
It's been fun though.
So lots of content, y'all. One, you
Yeah.
should go and listen to all of this content. You can hear the entirety of the first season, mostly, I think, of Outlaws and Old Ones on Spotify and YouTube. No, just
Yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
For sure, Spotify.
No, for
All
sure,
of the
Spotify.
VODs of all of Outlaws and Old Ones is on YouTube. Yeah.
Except for the one
The lost season.
lost.
There
There
are
are
episodes.
The
They
lost
don't talk
are
about that.
like 2
Like-
episodes.
There's like 13 or 14 episodes from season 1 that
Ding dang lost art.
got lost, and we've retconned, not retconned,
We
but
did
like,
not
there was like
There's no retcon. If you want to, you can actually experience the plot line of those episodes in a later season when they go back in time and are there simultaneously while their past selves are there.
It's fantastic. But I didn't really consider like the timing of like the Outlaws Network and everything like that, because I discovered, here's how I know these people exist. I was in a Discord server with at the time a mutual friend of mine and John's. And like I discovered that we actually do have a very good friend in common, Mermetal Bard. Shout out to Nacha.
Yeah.
I knew them from like random happenstance,
which I think is how most people know Nasha.
Yeah, and now I'm never gonna not know Nasha. So but I was just in a Discord server, and we all happened to be in the Discord server. And I think, and you can tell me your side of this, John, but there was a day that I was streaming, and all of a sudden, this new individual called the Outlaws Network showed up, and I'm like, huh, interesting. I wonder what you're about. Are you trying to sell me something? No, you're just cool. All right, cool. And then I just clicked, because they kept coming
you a good
back.
time.
Yeah.
Like, they kept coming back.
Yeah.
And so I was like, huh, okay, well, what is the whole deal with this Outlaws Network thing? And then I found the Outlaws and Old Ones, the podcast, and I was like, huh, all right, I'll give this a shot. I listened to the first 2 episodes and was like, this is so good. This is so good. I became your most vocal fan immediately.
It was very quick.
It was very
it was
fast.
beautiful.
That's wonderful.
Go.
I breezed through the first couple of seasons because I would listen to them while I was doing Instacart at the midst of like 2020 into 2021.
Gotcha.
So I was like, that was my driving. And when I was done, when I caught up to where you all were, I was so incredibly upset.
Oh no!
I was like, I have nothing to listen to now.
There's a lot of hours to listen to, and it's a weekly 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's basically exactly how it went. I was in a Discord. The Discord had a promote yourself section, and Maria had posted their stream in that. And so I was just like, I was new to the scene. Nasha and I went to college together. We were both vocal performance and opera studies majors at SUNY Purchase College in New York. And I was trying to get the Outlaws Network, Outlaws and Old Ones specifically out there, and since Nasha was very well connected in the TTRPG space, they reached out to me specifically about Outlaws and was like, I got friends, I can get you into some Discord so you can like meet other people, and like and so that happened. I was in that Discord. I just was in the links to promote yourself, like, oh, let's go meet some folks, like who's live right now. And yours was just the first one there. I went in and was like, this person's extremely cool, and they're doing art, and the art's really good. And that's so I just started chatting, and the community is incredible. Like this chat, the one that's right here happening right now, is incredible. And I just had so much fun sitting in there, and it immediately felt so cozy and like home. And so I subbed the very first stream I'd ever tuned into, or I like,
it was almost like this is a new person in chat. Hi, hello. There was like an immediate follow, and then maybe like 30 minutes later, it was like, oh, okay, this is weird. Hello. Hi.
And then I think I might be wrong, but I think it was the very next, it might not have been the very next stream of yours, but it was definitely the very next stream that I came into, where you just gushed about our stuff.
I was like, oh my God, y'all, you need to
for
listen.
like for a good 15, it was like a 15-minute unprompted plug of our content. And I was like, I should I tell him to stop? I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now.
I was day
I can't pay you.
I was day one a PT Sinclair fan, by the way. The VODs don't exist anymore, but like immediately #1 PT Sinclair fan.
I mean, isn't everyone?
PT Sinclair's pretty big.
PT Sinclair is saying?
That's one person.
It's called kayfabe, Brian.
Like,
told
I'm also like
you know the word.
obviously biased because I am one of John's biggest fans, but
Yeah.
I do feel that P.T. Sinclair is an excellent character. Like, in terms of
fantastic
just character
character.
work,
Yeah.
he's just an amazing character.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
Never
He's
top
kind of
it.
like the Pikachu of Outlaws and Old Ones.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, it's like,
100%.
this,
So
this
fate.
is
Yeah.
this is perfect. Like,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
He
Don't
is
change.
the fat Pikachu.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
part of it is that PT Sinclair existed before we actually started streaming out the
Mhm.
show.
Yeah,
too.
true.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we just knew that he was doing good. I remember we were in Taylor's old apartment where we had to be quiet, but John kept like yelling as PT Sinclair, and Taylor was so stressed out.
Aw.
Wait, so remind me the timeline of things. PT Sinclair already existed, and Robin Renard already
Yes.
existed
Yes.
because
Mhm.
we used
And
to play
Scoop
Call of
already
Cthulhu
existed.
and
Scoop did.
Scoop
Yeah.
McCutcheon
McCutcheon.
because we used to play Call of Cthulhu over Zoom, right? Regularly.
Yes.
And then we were like, oh, wait, let's turn it into
It wasn't.
Outlaws and Old Ones.
I don't think it was regular. I think we scheduled a few sessions individually.
Yeah.
So it was
Because it started in that Outlaws time. Like, it's set now in the 1930 odd something.
But it was
But-
the-
because we were
But
originally
very
playing
specifically, yeah.
regular Call of Cthulhu, and then when we started Outlaws and Old Ones, when we started the stream and the recordings, that's when we bumped up to, or no,
Pulp Cthulhu, right?
Pulp Cthulhu.
Yeah.
I think
don't-
we had very briefly moved to Pulp Cthulhu right before.
Maybe, yeah.
We'd played with
Maybe
it,
to like get
Mhm.
acquainted with the system
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we actually broadcasted it. But yeah, so I think PT is the only one that's been there since that first day, because that hangout was just you and me, Taylor and Devin, I think. And then we
Mm.
started doing more where we got Shannon and Brian involved as
Mhm.
well. And that's when Emily was overseas, I think in Ethiopia at that point. I think that's the case. I think you were in Ethiopia.
I don't
because
know.
you came, I remember specifically, you came back and you were staying in my apartment in Nova,
Yeah.
and we made you a character, and the character we made was Scoop McCutcheon.
Yeah.
And so you could play with us that night. And I don't actually
Yeah.
think we ended up playing for like all of 30 minutes
Yeah, I
because
don't.
it took so long to make your character, and then we just wanted to hang out.
Mhm.
Didn't we do a Zoom call? We did a Zoom call, and Taylor was in Harrisonburg, and Taylor decided from that Zoom call to stop the Zoom call and drive from Harrisonburg that
Yes.
night.
Yes,
Oh.
Come
that's
hang
exactly what
out.
happened.
And
I
that
think it was
was
that
for
night.
that.
a cute little moment because Taylor and I decided to be together. So like that
Aw.
night,
They're
'cause
getting
he
married
decided
next
to
year.
drive like a moron to Nova from Harrisonburg in the middle of the night. So it was a good time.
It's like, hey, can I also stay at your apartment in a couple hours?
Like, I'll be there soon.
Yeah, fucking, I guess. Yeah.
Too late, I'm already on the way.
It's a neat calls, man. Like,
I really wanted to focus in on Outlaws because, in my opinion, it is what that's what is imprinted on my brain is like, oh, this is what the Outlaws Network is, and then there's also these other things, which is so interesting to hear, like the kind of
It's like the
timeline
last
of
one,
Avenge. Yeah, that it was kind of one of the last ones to actually come about officially.
Mhm.
But I definitely want to like basically make this a very broad like, hey, let's talk about some of our favorite things about this show. Whether you want to get like nitty gritty of like this moment in particular was really great because I have a couple of those. I've guested on Outlaws and Old Ones. I did a very specific kind of guess, and I will tell you about it. If you've been to my streams, I've talked about it before. But either like in-game moments that you really like, characters, etc., or things that have come about because of Outlaws. Since we all have Outlaws in common, and we all have the whole network in common. But this is teacher.
Right.
I do RPG, so listen, I'm so focusing.
I see.
Of course.
Yeah, I wish we could do like a roll the clip, and then when you show us doing
Then
that
talk
thing where we're
about
in the chairs and we're like laughing together.
Yeah.
So a few things before
this clip up for.
we get into that. You should know that if you haven't watched Outlaws and Old Ones, we're very work averse, and setting up scenarios to
yeah.
do for Call of Cthulhu are very difficult. It
Mhm.
just takes a lot of time, and people just go off script immediately. So the only way I could imagine doing it was like, I need to be able to go in with zero work done. So the whole show is completely improvised. and we wanted a big part of it to be like the audience can get involved, and like whatever they're suggesting, I try to put it in as best as I can without like breaking any of the rules or anything like that. So a lot of the humor comes from just the things
absolute ridiculousness
happening because I have to come up with a name on the spot, you know,
or
like
a voice of your 3 voices that you have.
I am probably the worst at voices out of any of our group, and I have to do the most of them.
I love that's the best part. That's the true
really, really
like
great.
Jorge is a trooper part of that is there is just no like anyone
There's no getting
else
out of it.
And it's just Jorge has to power through and find 7 and you're like I guess I'll do something.
Pretty much all I do is shift the pitch or add in some sort of tip. You know? Like
Or go like
Sometimes.
slightly Russian sometimes.
I did like there's a Southern Belle character I think I did okay.
Mr. Chimpy had some kind of like
I liked Mr. Chimpy as well.
I don't even remember what his affectation was.
Mr. Chimpy? Oh, Mr. Chimpy had like you modulate it all the way up to be really high, and then you add kind of a southern. No,
Mr. Chimpy wasn't southern.
No,
he
wasn't.
Mr. Chimpy had a foghorn leghorn thing going.
Yeah, he had a little southern draw. Absolutely.
Really? Okay, I'm thinking of someone else entirely then.
Okay.
That I
I'm thinking of the girl whose name I already forgot from the most
Apple?
recent.
Kaiju, Emerald Kaiju,
Shemerald
Kaiju.
Oh my God,
Kaiju.
Apple!
We
what a
also
throwback.
sometimes-
Apple
when
is,
our-
I remember
a
Apple.
throwback.
When our chat is
season
feeling
1.
Actually, when our chat is feeling creative, we are able to field name suggestions sometimes. And believe it or not, Shemerald Kaiju was a chat suggestion.
Yes, and
Apple, on the other hand,
well,
Apple's
like
classic.
way back machine.
Apple's actually way further back than you
Yeah.
think
Way
because
back.
Apple
Apple's
comes.
Cthulhu classic, like
Yeah.
way back.
Christmas of
to Christmas of
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
I
Yeah.
believe like the
One.
season 1, like the first
Yeah.
Christmas of
Yeah.
Cthulhu. I think Apple
That's how
was
I remember
there.
it.
Yeah,
And it was-
Wow.
she's a valley girl.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't
She's like
care
a-
about anything.
like a
I
teen
love
Valley
Apple
girl.
That
so much.
worked
Or
at
is
every
Aubrey
shop.
Plaza.
Any
She's
store
the-
you went
That was the
into,
story.
Apple
Yeah.
was there, and she was just the teen that was bored and
And
had
just
to
didn't
work
care.
the shop.
Yeah.
Oh, so dismissive. It hurt.
God, I
Yeah.
love
dude, I
it
hate
so much.
Apple.
Well,
I
I
love
can't-
Apple so
love
much.
it.
The
hate
thing is, I
Apple.
can't do Apple justice because the original person who played Apple was our friend Devin, and
Yeah.
Devin can be
Kills
so
it.
unbelievably
Oh.
dismissive.
Devin is great. Shout out to Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he crushes Apple.
Yeah.
I
He could
too
also do.
crush
I
apples in
still
my
have
spare
always
time.
tried to get
Wait a
him on
Yeah, I
on
love cider.
Outlaws to do the voices because when we would do Christmas
Yes.
Cthulhu, I would run things and he would do all of the voices.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that always worked really,
Mm.
really well. Which is why I have not had practice doing the voices for all these years.
Been coasting for this time.
I don't know
This
why
whole time.
this reminded me of it, but one of my favorite things on like literally everything is my favorite thing on Outlaws. But I really like when we all desperately want to do like a thing that has been done in like TV or movies that is very visual, but we're not like in a room together and we're not acting anything out like literally. So
Yeah.
we'll just be like I'm remembering, I'm pretty sure Scoop was in this one. We were all in the motel room and there was some kind of like somebody's coming in looking for us and we're shooting at each other, blah, blah, blah.
Kokomo.
And we're all like
Mhm.
peeking out of the door and we're
Yes.
like, Scooby-Doo,
Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo style.
Scooby-Doo stack.
Yeah.
I got a Scooby-Doo stack.
Oh,
Every
God.
time we're like, no, hang on, pause the role
just a
play.
phrase
We're
now,
literally going to describe what we are doing in the stupidest way
Yeah,
possible.
very important.
There you go.
It's all about the
Beautiful.
bit.
It's all about
Yeah.
the bits.
It's all bits, that show.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge part of it. And while still nobody wants to die, so they're trying to get their bits off while
while keeping their
I'm gonna
bits
get my
together.
bits off.
Yeah.
I find that to be
Yeah, very-
I find that to be the hardest thing about playing Call of Cthulhu, honestly, is that you're so damn useless.
You're like a
You're
normal
Yeah.
human
You're
being
not
in a
even
terrible,
as-
terrible world.
You're not even as good at stuff as you as a person are.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like,
Sometimes, yeah.
it's so frustrating. Like, I consider myself to be a very competent person. I can tie knots, I can shoot guns, I can drive a car, I can do all sorts of things that my character can't fucking do.
your character sheet would actually look great.
My
you
character
can-
sheet would be badass.
Both you and
like-
you and John, one time we did a Call of Cthulhu game where everybody played themselves.
It was
'cause we
for
just-
Halloween.
For Halloween, where
Yeah.
everybody just played themselves, and we assigned points because in Call of Cthulhu, like your skills are like different, like profession skills, and so everybody got points based on what profession they currently had. But we were like still in college, so we were doing like single points based off how many courses you took in a specific
Yeah.
subject. It's
Don't do this, by the way. This is not. It's not good for your self-esteem.
You don't want to make
1,000,000%
yourself a
do
character
it.
sheet.
Some
You don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
look at a list of 100 skills and
If
try and
you're-
figure out
yeah.
your score.
Oh,
out of
I would be
People-
so.
Yeah.
people were getting mad,
Arguing.
people were
arguing
and
about
being
how many points they
really
should be getting
upset
this
because they're like, I should get a point in this. I'm like, we don't. Where are the
way.
receipts? I don't have them.
Yeah.
So
I do very much like the idea though of like, let me just take myself and put me as a concept in a
Mhm.
terrible. I like it. I cannot imagine any one of us put into Aurora Boro and like it being good in any way.
No.
Oh, certainly not. Certainly not.
No.
'Cause
Well, it's
that's-
not
Yeah.
designed to help. The world is not designed to help you out. There's like
Yeah.
that's the one thing about Call of Cthulhu that about specifically Outlaws that's very difficult is like there are if a door is locked, like
Gotta
you're
figure
not
it
gonna
out.
get through that door.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm. Yeah, pretty much.
You
Yeah.
are like
Especially if you're like an 80-something-year-old individual.
Listen,
You're
unless
just like,
Conrad
literally-
Hardy is there, and then you
Unless
just shoot it.
Conrad Hardy.
and then you
Yeah,
I was
shoot
gonna say.
You just
Yeah,
shoot
yeah.
the door.
Like,
Okay,
Well,
or
it's-
Remy McSwummy and you just punch
And
it.
you just
with
punch it,
your,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
half
Swing a
of your
baseball bat
fist.
on it and you go, I crit, because I hit a 35, and it's somehow that's the crit range for me.
Well, the
I
thing
will
is, like,
forever regret making my fighting brawl skills
Can't
so
kill.
high because
Over
I
100%.
believe I made it. Yeah, it
Oh,
broke
yeah.
it.
You
started
broke the
as
game.
110, and so it just stayed at 110. It was
no.
because pulp was so foreign to me. Like I was just like, oh, I'm allowed to do what? I punched. I'm so good at punching. My backstory is I'm a bartender and I like to work on cars, and I punch everything in the
I
world.
punched the car and it
Now
works.
I'm like, man, I would really like to like shoot somebody, but I'm not that good at shooting people, but I'm really good at punching people. So I guess I'll just punch people.
I'm gonna run up and smack him.
Well, that's one of the things I really like about the system, like the newer versions of Call of Cthulhu, is that the hand-to-hand combat, the system lends itself to be very cinematic. So we've had situations where like Taylor's been on the ground with a serial killer holding a knife over him, and they've done that like keep switching the knife back and forth, trying.
Oh well, all right. But
Okay,
to call
somebody's
to
neck.
to one of my favorite moments is when I made a character, y'all.
Yes.
I was finally allowed on the Outlaws Network after being a fan for so
Finally.
long.
He
and
invited you
so
immediately.
loud.
wow.
No, yeah, no, I was immediately
After being a
invited on,
fan
and
for
I
2
was
weeks.
no, I was basically immediately asked on, and I couldn't for a very long time because
Life.
life.
'Cause you
Thursday nights
make
are
as much
hard.
content alone
Thursday
as
nights
the
are
rest of us
hard.
put together.
I was gonna say, are you
Um,
sure you don't have also a different Thursday
I do now
night
have
O and O
I do have another Thursday night O&O show, which is
Oh,
I get them
jeez.
mixed up all the time, and it's pretty great. But I made a
aggressive, yeah.
character, and I was talking to Jorge about it, and I was like, I don't know what kind of character to do, and then immediately it hit me. I was like, I want to make an antagonist character specifically with the intention of being their arch nemesis, whether known or not, is PT Sinclair, because like of everybody in the show, to kind of peel back the curtain a
Yeah.
little bit, I only really knew John, and so I was like, all right, I know at least one person in this that I can like be
Fuck with.
yeah, I can fuck with. Yeah, exactly. So I made TP Seymour, and I used the naming convention very specific. Who was just a young non-binary person who, in one way or another, got blames PT for all of the things that have gone wrong in their life, whether it's true or not.
Rightly
is
so.
Rightly so.
Which
Yeah,
you're
like-
not directly
yeah.
responsible for.
Yeah.
Legally
Right,
correct.
Yeah. So my whole driving force was I want to kill PT Sinclair.
Mm.
That was the whole driving force behind TP Seymour. And I feel like there were some like pretty tense moments prior to me going on the show. There was a couple of times that were like, it's a comedy forward show, to put it in perspective to
Yeah.
everyone. It's definitely, y'all have a fantastic time and you make each other and also viewers laugh. It's very funny and it's very fun, and there's spooky stuff that happens, but it's primarily focused on like the comedy side of horror. And then I show up and I'm like, y'all ready to get serious for just like 5 seconds? And there's a scene that I had with John where TP was basically doing like the monologue thing of like, all right, here's here's everything that you've done wrong in my life. And I know that hadn't been done on the show prior to that, and I'm like, this is my moment. I'm gonna make them regret having me on this show. I'm not gonna be funny at all.
I'm gonna kill their Pikachu.
I'm gonna kill their
I will kill Pikachu.
Yes.
falling apart.
All right, but like, think about how cool that is. But like, that was the whole thing. And I came back, and eventually, spoiler, my character ended up dying. They all killed me. They killed me because I was trying to kill. But I almost got. I fucking
much
almost
killed,
got you.
It was very close.
Yeah.
I almost got him.
I was bleeding out. Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
He's
Yeah.
currently not in good shape.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
Currently very much hurt. And
But we
Uh,
finished the last
yeah.
adventure, right? So you get to
Sadly.
he's gonna heal
Yeah,
up.
so I-
Sadly, he'll make
Damn
it.
Lives through another one.
That's
It's close though.
I feel like
He's
we
been
made
alive
new
too long.
characters so long ago that I think now we need to again make new characters. Like we
Yeah.
made backup characters because we were like, surely our characters will die soon.
Yeah,
After
right.
Taylor left, we
No
were like,
way.
all right, you know what? And then we just
I
keep
tried
almost
so
dying.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried.
Gotta
I'm like,
hard.
I showed up. I did 3 appearances technically. It was the initial one where I was on, I think, twice.
You were on for multiple
Mhm.
episodes. I think 2 or
Yeah.
3 times. Yeah.
And then I came back for 1 episode right before y'all went into that castle of terrors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where-
Castle Frederick,
Yeah,
where they fought the 5
Uh,
Knights. Yeah.
correct.
5 Nights at Castle
Frederick's.
Frederick's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 Nights at Frederick's.
Five Nights at Castle
Um,
Frederick.
Oh,
You can
And-
see, folks, if you don't know the show, what
Yeah.
happened.
Emily's
but
a
that
great
was
audience member, dude.
that was the first time I tried to kill. I tried to kill you, and also simultaneously stole Brian's fancy talking sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally
was
stabbed
like-
PT in the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys forgot to take it right from
100%.
Yeah.
the
That's
corpse?
I'm
yeah.
sure
We
that's
didn't, we
taken
didn't
as-
grab that.
Yeah.
Sure,
I
that might
was-
come
I
back
was-
to bite us
I was
later.
thinking about it at the
It's
time.
in the
yeah.
camp then.
Oh
that
no!
point.
Now Gorblox is Gorblox. What the?
That's
what's
an
that guy's
even
name?
Gorblox?
better idea than
You're
what I was
welcome.
thinking.
You're welcome.
Gorblox is
Sorry, guys.
a gremlin who basically they were in like a weird time baby at like they're
Oh, boy.
between
I'm
dimensions.
already.
It's a crazy time baby eating
Time
thing.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where somebody mentioned all the most famous people across the different dimensions, and I happened to say Gorblox as a random name, and then not remembering this, I literally used Gorblox as the name for a gremlin. So now canonically, that little gremlin that they messed with
Going to.
ends up in the gnome dimension and eventually goes on to become one of the greatest beings in the multiverse.
I hope that you all are taking notes, because there
Star
is in
Trek
fact a
did.
gnome dimension.
Absolutely.
The gnome dimension became a fan favorite pretty quickly.
Pretty quick.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be kind of a throwaway.
Well, we
If I'm
quickly started
remembering-
delving into the socioeconomic and political context of it.
Well, they had
And
to
so it became.
If I'm remembering correctly, Scoot McCutcheon and Remy McSquemmy were both held captive
Yes.
in the gnome dimension.
By
we
the-
were.
the-
Yeah.
In Nakanomi Plaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, by like far
hate my life.
right like gnome separatists
Yeah.
in Nakanomi
Yeah.
Plaza. Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't decide if I'm glad or sad that I missed that we missed the brunt of that story.
Those gnomes were actually trying to introduce capitalism into like a very
Oh,
friendly,
for
nice
shame.
gnome dimension.
How
Yeah.
dare they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't
They
tempt
they
it.
took care of them. They
They get
really did
cleared
not.
out.
They did not go easy on those gnomes. Yeah, yeah, that was wild.
What was the question?
Favorite
Oh,
moment?
Is there a
yeah,
question?
favorite
I
favorite
just
moment.
wanna-
Talk
what
about
were we
talk about.
talking about?
We're just talking about Owen. We're talking about ooh.
Oh wow!
I adore playing PT Sinclair. I do think that because of look, he's 80 something, he's 85 plus and he's a very, very old man. He has been on death's door, like at 0 or 1 hit point, so many
So many
times.
He basically
I-
lives there.
Something about the fact
half
that
the
it
time,
is an improvised show, completely improvised. So like, I mean, DMs and GMs of the world know that like you have to organize your combat encounters in such a way that people are gonna get hurt and like there's balancing that you have to do, right? In so few words. So there's not a lot of room for balancing combat encounters. They're just gonna kind of get thrown at you. And then on top of that, Pulp Cthulhu makes staying alive a whole hell of a lot easier than it is in regular Call of Cthulhu. So I've been looking for a place for PT to actually
For an
die
off-ramp?
for like 4 seasons at this point.
I tried so hard.
You're so close,
I was
too.
there for it, but
So
at the same time, I'm an actor at heart, and I
Yeah,
I need
PT
to
doesn't
be
want to
true.
die.
I need to be true to the character, and
Yeah.
PT is a fucking coward. That
PT
dude,
clings for-
100,000.
There have been many opportunities you cling for life, and it's
he's
so
going
good.
to
Oh,
fight
yeah.
tooth and nail to stay
Yeah.
alive every time.
Well, because I think that was one of the things that came up in the TP and PT conversation. The very first one
Yeah.
was it was something along that line of like, you know, you never like take ownership for anything. You know, you're like, I need to go back and re-listen to it because
Yeah.
like
It was the first
I
serious
clipped it.
moment.
You
Yeah.
can go to the Outlaws Network,
Well,
twitch.tv/the Outlaws Network. That whole scene is clipped in there.
What I think is funny is that PT Sinclair is such completely to the bone, just a humorous character. He's like a cartoon character basically, and then somebody from the real world basically who's been affected by his antics comes and tells him like literally like how awful of a person that actually makes him when you put him in a real context. And that's where I think a lot of the humor from that scene comes from.
And
Yeah.
what happens is PT, yes, he's very funny, but at the heart of it, he's a salesman. He-
also the fucking
he-
saddest character. Like you and I are now competing for saddest old man character in a
Yeah.
TTR
Oh, no.
right now.
But
Like
he knows how
Oh,
to
just
talk.
wait.
He,
If I can like
Oh, no.
tease,
okay.
little tease. We'll
A
tease
little
them. We'll tease.
teaser.
We'll
Little
tease a little bit
teaser.
later too.
there are
Yeah.
teases to happen.
oh, things are gonna get sad.
I'm so excited.
PT knows how to talk his way out of almost any situation. And in that situation, he was being threatened with a knife by someone who has every very good reason to kill him right then and there. And he just went back, got sad sack, he pulled out every card he needed to get out of that situation, and it worked. So
it worked partially. I think it worked partially in a meta sense because like it was like first half of the show and I'm like I'm not gonna just
I'm
stab
not gonna
you
do it before
in
the bathroom
Yeah.
break.
yeah, that's just like that's rude. Episode 1 of 2 that I'm here. I'm not gonna do it the first
Immediately.
episode. And then it didn't happen for another like year.
Season and a half.
For another 2
It's hard to find the
seasons.
right
Another 2
time.
seasons.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Oh
Because
yeah.
having an antagonistic character is like classic in our play group. Like we very often have
Yeah.
one person who's
God.
playing the antagonist and always has to pop it at the right time. But it's critical because like if you do it in
Yeah.
front of everybody, you get killed immediately.
Yeah.
They're all just
Yes,
human,
which
so.
is kind of what happened. Like that's what eventually ended up with TP's demise because they revealed at the before the Five Nights at Frederick's situation when they first tried to kill PT, they kind of sunsetted at the after their first encounter. They were like, all right, y'all suck, you really suck, PT, but I'm just gonna leave, I'm just gonna
Correct.
go.
Yeah.
That's what they said, and then they went to go to the most interesting character, in my opinion, in this entire universe, Baggy.
I love Baggy.
Like, I love Baggy so incredibly much. Baggy is absolutely like it's Baggy and PT Sinclair
Yeah.
for me. Like, I love the two of them so incredibly much, but TP went full like villain and was like, I'm gonna go team up with Baggy and see if I can actually like do something about these absolute terrible people in their mind. And dropped that dropping that little tiny thing at the end of that episode where I tried really hard to kill PT and could not do it. And I was just like, I just dropped, Baggy's name and then left because I couldn't be there anymore because it was the end of the episode and I wasn't coming back.
Reasons.
Yeah. Well, it made sense because there was like knights and
Of
they were
course.
basically
Well, you
destroying everyone. and-
stabbed him while they were actively fighting other very powerful characters.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
And
that
the
was the
entire
move. That's the
the
right way to do it.
entire episode, I was literally doing so many calculations in my head of like, how do I get PT? I was trying to get PT and Robin Renard. I was trying to get PT to like, or no, I was trying to get Robin to just be like, you know, fuck this guy, right? I was trying so hard to get like Robin to go away.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It did not work. Until the very
Not a
end, where
chance.
y'all were basically dying, and I was like, aha, my chance! And then it also didn't work.
Brian has always played characters that classically have one partner character, and they are ride or die. Like,
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
back
And
in the Christmas of Cthulhu days, it was Drew McIntyre and Dr. Blowjobs.
Blowjobs? which was a true
Yeah.
actual friendship relationship between the two.
Yeah.
The PT and Robin one I love so much because this is all like before when PT was merely 50 years old and Robin was like a cool 25 or whatever. But
God, yeah.
it ended up that we both survived the situation. Not for Robin specifically, like went mad and ran away, like was affected by the monster that was going on and
Yeah.
That's right.
There's like
ran
actual
off.
game mechanics, like Cthulhu
Exactly.
sanity game mechanics.
Yeah. So playing off of that was one, but it's been very like tense with them at times. Just 'cause
Yeah, it
Robin
does-
is
like, there's
"Shut
sometimes
up,
where it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like friend. It feels like you're just
Yeah.
like trying to keep this old man alive.
It's a marriage
and
of
that's
convenience.
There's an
Yeah.
obligation.
They're just
there.
codependent, is what it is.
Yeah.
That's
They've-
exactly yeah. So playing that
nobody
off-
else can relate to what they've been through, and they've been through
Yeah.
it for
Precisely.
decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are
but
these complex character things.
Yeah.
It's
built
weird.
into
Yeah,
the
it
universe.
really is. Yeah.
Slips
where,
in
like-
there. It doesn't
Yeah.
even like mean to be there, but then you're like, hey, wait a minute.
That's
Yeah.
what
Remy
I
actually
think
has-
is like so special about the show, which is like there's it's all improvised. We're literally putting the tracks in front of the train as it's moving. Like the town was barely a thing when we first started the show because we figured people are going to suggest things in chat. Like there's going to be just buildings
Y'all
that
gotta
are
go check
there
out Cobra
now.
Kai Lane.
As as we need things, they're just going to appear in town because like the town is going to be improvised and
Yeah.
it might as well be physically that way in universe, right?
Mhm.
And but even considering it's that improvised and that like spontaneous, there are still these through lines and there are still like connective story beats that happen and things that come back around, and like the way that we've managed to put together a story out of such chaos, I think is very, very cool. And the fact that we've had
It is
some
really cool.
actually cathartic character moments is
Yeah.
I'm very proud of. Anyway,
Mhm.
sorry, Shannon, I interrupted you.
Talk about
I
Remy.
was just gonna say, Remy really has no. This is how you can tell that I'm not a good actor, and I didn't do theater for as many years as everyone else because Remy has no real motivations. Like Remy is just like to stay with the other characters. Remy's just like, yeah, Robin Renard is pretty cool. Both of these guys hung out with my dad, but also one of them definitely killed my dad,
He
and now
got-
I
yeah.
definitely know that. And like I'm vaguely aware that it wasn't like a malicious like murder type situation, but Remy just kind of like, I don't know, drank it all away, I guess. Let's brush it under the alcohol rug of her mind. I don't know.
It's so funny because PT Sinclair is definitely responsible. So Shannon plays Remy McSquemmy, and
The daughter of Lemmy McSquemmy.
Who's
Lemuel McSquemmy.
Lemuel McSquemmy, who definitely died because of PT Sinclair.
Lemuel
And it's
McSquemmy.
not the first like real player
Shortened.
character, because another one, Emily's previous character, Susie Quinley, Susie
Susie
Q.
Q? No, I'm pretty sure that was Devin.
That was
Devin.
that was
That
Devin's
was not
second
Devin
character.
played a little
I
girl
get
named
Scoop and
Susie
Susie
Q.
confused all the time.
Yeah.
No.
Susie
It
Q was
Emily
eaten by
was
wolves.
not Susie Q.
No, that
No.
was Devin.
That was Devin's second character. Devin played Crunchy, the
Crunchy.
prospector,
Who
first,
also died
who
in
I
that
also
initial.
killed
Yeah.
in that explosion. Yeah,
Crunchy-
along with Lemmy
Crunchy-
McSquemmy.
Crunchy is actually the one that killed Lemmy McSquemmy,
Yes.
because he was like a old west prospector. There was
Yeah.
the sanity mechanic going on.
Yes.
Brian's character went nuts and
Ran away.
and
Yeah.
Devin's character Crunchy. What was his last name?
I think it was just Crunchy.
It's Crunchy.
Crunchy the prospector,
Just
yeah.
one
Crunchy the
crunchy
whole
little
I think it was
dude.
like a share
prospector.
situation. Yeah, it was just
And
Crunchy.
and I just always imagined the prospector from Toy Story 2.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's
Okay.
what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
There's no
and
other.
he-
Just like Susie Q was definitely just like a child form of fuck that. I can't.
From Toy Story 2?
No.
Is Outlaws and Old Ones just Toy Story
just
2?
Toy
I
Story.
wish.
Is it?
I wish.
But Crunchy
Think
went
about it.
insane, and I'm pretty sure pickaxed Lemmy in the head, and
Yeah,
Lemmy
that's
was
right.
like going to die, and then Peachy Sinclair was basically like, well, this situation's fucked. Dynamite.
Yeah.
I just love that
There was-
Susie Q wolves came into her tent and like pulled her out and ate her and
Well, she was like changing out of her jammies
yeah.
or something.
changed into like put pants on and they ate her while she was doing that.
Oh no.
And P.T.
Yeah.
Sinclair didn't help because he was too scared. And then
His hand got
He's-
hurt.
the whole time
I got
he was-
scratched.
He got
He's
scratched.
complaining about getting scratched when Susie Q had fully died. They made him dig the hole to
Yeah.
bury her.
It was terrible. It was a complete nightmare.
that now.
It was a complete nightmare.
And this is all backstory for these characters that happened before the show
Yeah.
even started. Because
Yeah.
this was back in old Wild West times, and then
Mhm.
it's like 20 years later in the 30s when this is
Yeah.
all happening.
Mhm.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mine shaft. It was that monster that had a sanity thing who, sent Brian's character running, affected Crunchy, who then harmed almost fatally Lemmy, and then I managed to climb out of the mine shaft without any damage. At the bottom of the mine shaft, the 2 player characters were down there, not able to do anything, including climb out. They were just not able to help themselves. The monster was right there. I had dynamite. So that's how that was just like,
Mhm.
those 2 characters are dead anyway. Like the monster is literally within
So you have to play
reach of
Call of
them.
Cthulhu sometimes.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta play Call of Cthulhu.
So you got to play to
Yeah.
win.
Who are like the biggest bads that we've faced in Outlaws and Old Ones?
So that's something I wanted to talk about, like
Mecha Jeff
building on
Bezos.
what John said with
Face
the,
him at all. You got bodied by Mecha Jeff Bezos.
with being able to have multiple like plot lines and everything.
Mhm.
Like, when we initially started, I really wanted to make a sandbox where it's like everybody can choose their own goals and just
Yeah.
explore town and do whatever they wanted to do. But I
Nightmare.
found that like if I didn't push them in
Yeah.
some direction, everybody just stood around.
It's just
We're like,
yeah,
let's
it's
go
just
to
a
the
meeting.
fucking
Exactly.
NPCs.
Exactly.
That is a
Um,
very classic TTRPG
Yeah.
problem, though. if you're-
Yeah, it's,
Well, so I
I
was
feel like,
like-
specifically like an online TTRPG
Yes,
right.
problem of like
Absolutely.
if there's no perceivable goal, we just kind of like unless you have like a table of individuals or a couple of individuals who are very proactive.
Yeah. It
Or
was.
Or
I
have
have
mean,
very
interwoven
strong
stories
goals.
so hard already
It's-
that it's like
Yeah.
it's
It-
funny because I was trying to explain to them like how much freedom. I think it was too much freedom. I was trying to
Yes.
explain it,
Yeah.
and I was like, for example, you could try to become mayor. And Taylor picked
Right.
that
And
as
Taylor
his goal
made that
immediately.
is- that was his
he's like, I will
identity.
become mayor.
Yeah.
It's like it was an example. I meant to do anything.
The thing is coming into it, we had been playing Call of Cthulhu where Jorge was like, here is a scenario, we were playing this scenario, and then we would like be playing that scenario for like many gatherings
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And then we came into this and we were like, here's a town, we're all characters in the town, and there's like nothing innately mystical about the
Go.
town. So we're like, okay, we go to the bar. Oh, we
Yeah.
found a mechanic shop. I guess I'm gonna become a mechanic in the set. Like we just did very human, normal things. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, I guess you have to come up with all the mystical shit out of that, Jorge,
Yeah.
because like
I mean-
we're all just gonna do boring shit.
So what I did,
But
I
it
mean,
worked out pretty well, I think. Like all
Yeah.
that
Well-
stuff that we went to had like, I mean, the mechanic shop is a prime example because as soon as you like knocked on the door, there was a mysterious figure who wouldn't let you in, and there's like,
I
okay,
st-
we
I-
immediately have to go back there someday. Like,
Yeah, like if there was a slow drip at the very beginning of like y'all doing like just getting into town and figuring out like, oh, this is a town, we just doing really mundane stuff, and then every once in a while Jorge would be like, oh, there's this thing that's just like, just offhandedly say a thing that I would stop. I would just be like record scratch, be like, excuse me. Wait,
The night guard.
went for a very like Twin Peaks style. Like everybody's kind of weird, and there's
It
like
is
monsters
very
and
Twin
shit
Peaks.
around every corner.
like the librarian, y'all need y'all.
The librarian. But like what I took from is something that I learned in like script writing classes, which is like the plot, like the way that you keep a plot going and something that makes for good plot is for never make anything easy for anybody. So anytime a character's trying to do anything, you put an obstacle in front of them.
That's what
So,
Emily was getting at.
Mm.
it's literally whenever any of them do anything now, if they stand around for too long, I make something happen to them. Like that's
Now,
how I got
okay.
over them not knowing what to do. Is like I throw stuff at them nonstop and I just keep
Yes.
setting up plot line after plot line after plot line. So I have many things to pull out of the ether when I need to, when I can like pull something that's already been established somewhere else. So like at some point when they're in the woods, a vomit monster is going to show up. That's just
Oh
sitting
my
out
God.
Oh my
there.
god! I was
Season
wondering
one, you know?
if is the
Yeah.
vomit
Those were
monster
all
still a
up
thing?
here,
Is
just
it
waiting.
still there?
Vomit
Everything
monsters
is
out there.
He's somewhere.
Everything that hasn't
Somewhere.
died on camera
Explicitly.
is still
I
there.
promise
Yeah.
you.
It's
yeah.
horror movie rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them have very
Mhm.
specific places in town that they're at, waiting for y'all to show up there by happenstance someday. You know,
They're never coming back to town.
Where is where's Scoop McCutcheon? What's going on with her?
Scoop
What-
McCutcheon's
where
always
did
just
we
chasing the
see
next
him?
story, right?
Scoop's got the scoop. You know, like that's what I love about Scoop. She's
here's-
doing her thing.
I feel like fan theory. I feel like Scoop McCutcheon is actually just a ghost,
Oh.
There wasn't
and he doesn't
there,
actually
no.
exist.
I have
Wasn't
zero
there-
problems with that.
wasn't there a time when we were like, okay, Emily's gonna come play with us today, and so now we need Scoop to appear, but we were like in a situation in which it was like there's no
Wild.
Like-
for, yeah.
like
there's no
feasible way for a Scoop to appear, and didn't she
Yeah.
just like appear from the ether? Like wasn't
There's
it like
always
she
a
got
feasible
kidnapped
way.
by the humbugs,
Yeah, it was a
It was the
Christmas episode.
humbug.
It was
Yeah.
in the mansion.
which
during
is from the
season
Lost
one.
episodes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is in the Lost episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember what happened and I can't find out.
It's, uh,
Our-
So did
our
it
friend-
happen? Was it real?
Our
Thanks,
friend
YouTube.
Chris came in to be all of the NPCs, and so there was like a Rudolph and a
Rodolfo
Christmas
Rosso.
train, and
I do
I don't
remember
know.
the humbugs. I
Yeah.
joined the humbugs. I like
Yes. Yes.
You
studied
did.
them.
You
No,
did
yeah.
you did what you did in real life with gelatos, but you did it with humbugs.
I
You
did
embedded
humbugs,
yourself with the
yeah.
humbug.
I did what I know, you know.
Yeah, large
Yeah.
insect
What you know,
monsters, not
folks.
little bugs. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I-
But I,
I
spoke
think-
their language and like I learned
Yeah.
about
Of course.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll come back
Obviously.
at some point.
Early
I don't
on,
think Scoop's come back. No, I came back for the gnomes.
For the you were in the you're in the
It's
of
been
the-
a,
That
it's
was
been
in
a
season
minute,
2,
though. Yeah,
It's
it's
been a
been a minute.
We're
Yeah,
season
you're on
5.
season. Yeah, you're on season 5 now.
Scoop, where you at?
I
Let's go.
know, right?
seasons are half years also. So
We
it's
need
not-
the Scoop.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
I'm around. Maybe I'll be. This
Yeah.
is inspiring
Well,
me
we-
to.
we gotta
Well,
get you back on,
Jorge's gotten better at progressing the plot without any of us involved. But in those early days, season 1 and 2, the best way to progress the plot was to bring Emily on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily
Yeah, 'cause
was
she was
came in
always
with a
looking for the
fucking plan for what was happening that day.
Emily would just go walking around looking for a scoop, and I'd be like, I got
Right.
scoops for you. I got tons of
Yeah.
scoops.
Well, that was the best part about the like, because Jorge would try to make plot happen to me. Like they would. I remember I first came in on a bus and I met Baggy. Baggy was the first person I met.
Oh wow.
Jorge just tried to, because I'm also a big role player. Like
Mhm.
I am like similar to what John was saying. I was like, if my character wouldn't do it, it's not going to happen.
No.
Like,
Mhm,
and I
mhm,
remember Baggy tried to lure me, who's playing like a 30-year-old woman, off on my own. And I was like, that's just not ever
going to
going
affect
to
your
happen.
information. Yeah,
like, I'm not a say no type of improviser, but in terms of your character, like, you're a stranger with a bag on your head and you're saying, oh, don't go to town, follow me. Like,
No way.
No.
no.
Which is the absolute correct
No, but-
decision. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
obviously.
No, but
Obviously you're gonna murder me. I'm gonna go do something
Mhm.
else. And it was such a horrible moment for me because I was like, this is the first thing I'm doing in this world that other people are
Immediately,
seeing is I'm coming in and I'm saying no.
Yeah.
It's like the
Fully
worst thing you
improvised
could do.
TTRPG. No.
Yeah, like this is me. This is Scoop McCutcheon. She's this cool character. Oh, this is her interacting with the first person. No.
fuck off. Yeah. Like,
Like,
The audience also knows that it's like the big bad too.
yeah.
mhm.
Which,
I feel like that's Jorge's favorite thing to do with guests is just be like, oh, also here's Baggy.
yeah.
Yes.
Here, interact with him.
Well,
He's here
Baggy
now.
is your ticket to choosing whether you're going to be an antagonist or a protagonist, right? Like,
Oh.
Okay, I came in though, and I said I'm gonna be an antagonist, and then I was
I
like,
wanna
but
be
I'm
that.
gonna go villain.
Yeah.
I upgraded.
Oh my god.
I upgraded as soon as I met Baggy with like
Oh.
the car situation. We were being chased by vampires.
I'm like very scared
Yeah.
that Scoop's gonna turn into a villain now. Please
I
don't.
really hope
Oh
not.
god.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
Villain
see
era.
Scoop doing that.
No way.
No,
I
Scoop's
like
too
Scoop
good.
is very protagonisty. Yeah.
The
like,
worst
Scoop-
I could see is Scoop getting so obsessed into a story that she starts doing something bad.
Yeah.
in desperate pursuit of the scoop.
Yeah,
You know what I
Of the
mean?
and
scoop.
justify the means kind of scenario.
Yeah.
I could see her not helping y'all and like snapping
For truth.
pictures instead.
Yeah.
Like just be like, I'm just here to
It's
observe.
about the
you know?
journalistic integrity.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Like that,
Supposed
yeah.
to
Actually,
interact.
Scoop
Can't
works
interfere
for,
with the narrative.
I don't know if Scoop would have worked for a full-time character. I'm sure she would have. There would have been a way for it to work.
yeah.
But
For sure.
I do feel like she's a good choice for someone who couldn't be here all the time.
Yeah. She
Totally.
goes in and out. She does not join the posse really. She's
Yeah.
like-
And you're
Yeah.
not like
and it also gives her a healthy mistrust of all of you.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Every time we meet, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be associated with this.
Really?
Actually, I'm gonna lose
Yeah.
my job at the magazine.
we're like
That's
our
a
good
fa-
friend Scoop, and you're like,
What? Oh.
That's the fascinating thing too, is like it's this particular group of not y'all, but your characters.
Sure.
I would not call you all necessarily the good guys
No.
in most
No.
situations.
Scoop is the protagonist.
Yeah, this is a Scoop
Story's actually
story.
about
It's just
Scoop.
not
Yeah.
about her.
bad
Yeah.
necessarily.
No, you're
We're
not
just
like
not good.
bad, but yeah, you're definitely not good.
I think they were more
Chaotic?
heroic
Neutral?
outside of Aurora Bora, which is the name of the town, by the way, when it wasn't filled to the brim with weird stuff. Like
yeah.
outside of there, they helped people on adventures more often. You know, they solved mysteries and stuff.
Yeah.
Here, the whole thing is just one giant mystery, so they're mostly just gunking up the works.
But
Yeah.
we're also
Yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to stay alive.
That's
just
what I was going to
surviving,
say.
yeah,
Our all of our
Horrible.
characters' motivations are at their very core stay alive.
You know
It's
why
survival,
why you have such a hard time too? It almost all goes back to one mistake you made near the beginning of the show, which is the murder of Arnold Kokomo. It's because you murdered a man in cold blood in your motel room, and so you've had the nights after you ever since, and
That
that
was-
just makes it
wasn't
so
it
hard to do anything.
Wasn't it self-defense though?
No.
No,
We set
No,
a trap.
it
We
wasn't.
lit,
I thought
we
he was
sprung a
coming to
trap
kill
and
us.
we had him
you
caught,
laid a
and
trap.
then
You
we
were
killed him.
suspicious of him for some reason, but no, he
he had a
didn't do
real
anything.
estate scam.
See,
He had really
Remy
a ghost
do
real estate
anything
scam,
to
which is a
you.
great
Yeah.
scam.
A
He
ghost
wasn't
real
like
estate,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't great, but like
He's a
definitely,
criminal,
yeah, definitely
but
didn't instigate.
I will take no
He's-
responsibility for this because Remy was hungover for all of that storyline and then was
Yes.
woken up inside of her motel room and was just like,
no, it was
Arnold Kokomo is here. But also, I blame Conrad Hardy.
It was Conrad Hardy.
It's
Conrad
Conrad
Hardy's
Hardy.
the easiest
Yeah.
thing to blame. Are
Well,
you kidding me?
I had
you
to-
were like, it all goes back to one thing, and
You
I was
throw it
like,
right
is
under the
it
bus.
Conrad?
Yeah.
Conrad Hardy
Conrad?
pulling the trigger. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say, in defense of Conrad, if I'm recalling that episode correctly, Arnold Kokomo just showed the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Like
He called-
unprompted.
he-
Like he called
Yeah, he
Conrad
kept
on the
calling.
phone, and
Yeah.
Conrad was like, I
Not
don't know
talking
what
to
you're
me."
talking about. I'm not at the hotel. Like he tracked us down.
Yes.
Yes.
And then showed up. Yeah.
Because
Sure.
y'all,
Maliciously.
because y'all had done something to one of his properties, right?
Menacingly.
Yes. So, and this is one thing. This
We're
was
trying to
this
expose
was like
the scam.
episode 3 or something. This was
Yeah.
way
It's
early.
early.
And I want to brag on Jorge right now for their improv abilities. This was a real estate scam, a horror
good
real
idea.
estate scam that they came up with on the
They
spot,
kept putting
which was
bones in old houses
yeah.
in order
Or
to
ghosts,
drive down the prices of the house
Like-
because the
Because
houses
it was-
were haunted.
Ghosts are
Yeah.
ghosts are tied in this universe to their remains, and so this guy would bring bags of remains.
This is how
into a house.
Garbanzo. Like
That's how
this
we
is
know-
That's
Yes.
how. Yeah, because you carried their bag of bones around for.
Because we met
Yeah.
them.
We still do. We
During
still have
a
them.
seance in a hotel
Yes.
in a haunted.
Yeah.
But I had to. I remember I guested,
And Bucky
and
Too
then
Lucky.
we
Mhm.
ended on a
Bucky Too Lucky.
cliffhanger where I was
Bob.
supposed to do a seance, and then I was like, "Okay, I don't have another one." And they're like, "Well, actually, you have to come back and do this seance." 'cause
Guess
you said
what?
you were going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But yeah,
never
so,
made. that must have been John forcing you to come
No,
back. 'cause
I
it-
wanted to.
Yeah.
I was like, I made promises, you know.
Oh, the seance is a good example of one of my favorite things to do. Is like whenever anybody's doing like a spell or anything, I make them like come up with the words on their
Oh,
own.
yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
like
no,
when I
you
had
improv
to
came up-
scat.
Yeah, well, I think Chat came up with the incantation that Remy eventually had to do, which was part of scatting. Because I remember I was
Yes.
in the chat suggesting things such as just like 30 seconds of scatting.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
it
know,
was
you're like 5 seconds.
Nuga Wooska. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I
Nuga
literally
Wooska,
remember it was
Nuga
Nuga
Wooska,
Wooska, and then I had to
hand
scat
motion,
for
and then scat.
what
Nuga
3 to
Wooska,
5
but you have
seconds.
to mean it.
But you
Yeah.
have
Nuga
to
was
mean
you have to
it.
mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make it as embarrassing as possible. But Emily just on the spot came up with an incantation for the seance.
Beautiful.
I don't remember what it
I
was.
think it
It
rhymes.
I feel like it rhymed, which is always the best.
Wow. Go
always what
listen
I'm
to that
hoping
episode,
for.
season 1, y'all.
That's not
Sounds-
normally my
You can
deal.
listen to
Yeah, that one is in podcast, fully edited, high production
Yeah.
value.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Taylor
I do
did
love the
Taylor
production
did
quality
the
on those. Yeah.
Taylor did the
Oh, yeah.
editing for season 1, right?
Yeah.
The
Taylor
first
spent
couple
like 10
seasons?
hours a week editing
Taylor
each
was
Yeah.
episode.
his
Literally.
adding like they're adding sound effects and like all sorts of it's very
Yeah.
well done.
He
No,
did
'cause
incredible
Taylor
work on
wanted
that
to make
show.
a podcast out of it, and we were like, "You 100% can. We will
No one's
not
helping.
help
In no way,
No one
shape,
is
or
We'll make
helping
form.
it
you
very
even a little
clear
bit.
we're not
I'm
going
so
to help
sorry.
you.
You
Your
do not
project.
have-
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
That-
so much
that-
fucking work,
that
but
said,
it came out
so much,
amazing.
yeah.
though.
It came out
So
so
fucking
good. He
good.
did an incredible job, and now I'm like,
Just sitting there.
stuck.
I have all the assets for the end of season 1 for all of this. Like, I have everything for every episode we've ever done, and my dream is to have, I think, at least season 2. I think after
Mhm.
season 2, I'm not as intent on putting it into podcast form. If we ever blew up and it became an option, maybe. But I think definitely I want to one day get all the way through the end of season 2 edited in the same style.
Mhm.
But it's just a money and time thing at this point.
Either because it's either a shit ton of work or a ton of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither of
Yeah.
which we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this because our network has always been very focused on like we're here to have fun, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love to interact with y'all who are making this your full-time careers, because I love to support, and like try to send people your way. Like that's why we want to promote heavily, right, to other people, but we're not doing this full-time. We're not doing like the prep work, like it's a
Yeah.
different vibe over here.
Yeah, and it definitely in the best way that I can possibly mean it, it shows that you all do want to do this and have a good time doing it, where it's not like, all right, everybody has to be here at exactly 7 p.m. every single Thursday,
Yeah.
and you have to have like the highest quality, like it having the high, you all have great like general production quality, like as far as like audio goes and all that sort of stuff, and the actual like stories and content that you put out, because you don't just do like, sometimes you won't have Outlaws, you'll have like video game stuff. There's a whole
Right.
lot of if y'all want to hang out and talk Pokemon for 1,000 years, you can join the Discord. There's a lot of Pokemon happening.
John and I were doing a
Sorry, okay.
Nuzlocke run.
Yeah,
we were
you were doing
streaming.
We have to
multiple
finish that.
Nuzlocke runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely this feeling of like it feels like a network now in my mind, of like, it's not just Outlaws and Old Ones, which is where like it was in my head for a really long time, of like, oh, it's just this really cool show and I guess they do other things. No, it's like now it's like all synonymously like, oh, there's Bloody Stream, oh, there's Downtime, there's they're off streams where they just play video games and all that sort of stuff. And it's lovely. It's so lovely. And it's
Yeah.
because you all are you all do it, and you're all lovely. So of course your
Ugh.
stuff is going to be lovely.
We just
Yeah,
like to
shit.
have fun, and I do really want to encourage anybody listening who is interested to come by. Like, all of our stuff is highly interactive, and then we very
Yeah.
often invite people to come on stream with us, because again,
Very entertaining.
we're just
Yeah.
trying to make more friends, have a good time.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the big
Yeah.
thing. I did want to say, because it was brought up earlier, I wanted to say a massive shout out to John for being willing to just walk out into spaces and
just
go.
walked into my house.
I was talking about this. Well, I was watching Pixie Parker's birthday stream the other day, and
Yeah.
I was trying another shout out to see, whatever. But and I was like chatting there, and I'm just like, cool, whatever. And we were talking about how everything got together. I'm just like, it is all John. John walked in and went hello, and then we all, I
sneaked in after.
think it was a perfectly smart thing. We all like stood in the back and waited. John went, cool, I'm I've got everybody. And we went, yeah, cool, we're all friends now, right? Like, we're all, yeah. like, thank
we
you.
literally-
So
we
that
did the
we
thing
all
that
met you.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did the
it
thing
did
where
happen
you
that way.
stand stacked in front of each
Yeah,
other, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
John just goes, and then we
Yeah.
all go,
Yeah, it literally happened that
Absolutely.
way. For in my head, I was like, there's John, and then literally is everyone else, and I'm like, I don't
Hello?
have the option to not say no,
Yeah.
because you're all amazing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's not
the
a
rest
bad
of-
thing.
The rest of us are not good about jumping into community.
Yeah.
I love communities too, but I just like I work in tech, so like when I'm not working, I'm just not doing computer stuff usually.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not on Discords, I'm not messaging people. I'm a very like also like to be in person and hanging out with people,
That's
and I
the
got lots of friends over
biggest
here.
thing.
That's like-
Mhm.
That is the
Yeah, we're
biggest thing that's
gonna-
been successful. Sorry. Please go.
I work in a lab, so I have my phone out when I'm not supposed to, but I cannot, unfortunately. I've from time to time been like, oh, I'm going to put on Maria's stream. And then I'm like, I guess I'll just listen and not do anything in the chat because I have to pipette things and pour things into beakers like a scientist. But like, as soon as I get a work from home job, I'm gonna be on Twitch all day. I'm just gonna like follow John's example and just be like, hi.
I have hopped on a few of Maria's streams, but like anytime I'm on one of those, I'm just such a social person. I immediately just start talking to you like the whole
Good.
time.
Yeah.
I just-
Like that's
but then I'm
that's-
not working
that's what I-
You're
anymore.
like, oops. I'm
okay,
not
well,
doing
there's
work.
also that. Yeah. I have the fortunate / unfortunate time slot of it works great for me and anybody who has a 9 to 5 job. It's kind of in the middle of your work day.
Yeah,
So like,
Which is great sometimes.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
no,
really
it's-
and truly.
um,
Like
Everybody's home, you know.
if I feel like shirking my desk job, you know, it's like always the first place I go. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, you know, like because Maria's on and I love those. I think the first time I jumped on, John told me like, hey, Emily, I've been like really talking about the Outlaws Network in downtime with this person. Like maybe you should pop in and say hi. It's like your mom who throws a party for you and it's like,
Yeah.
you really need to say hi to your
Really
aunt,
gotta
you
say
know?
hi. Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, okay, I guess I'll do this. Like I came in because I'm like not everyone knows this about me. I am not tech savvy. Like I like they like made fun of me so hard when we put like the daily Zooms for COVID. It
Oh
was
my
a
God.
bad thing for me. I was
That was
like, I can't deal with this. Like I was working on a laptop from 2012 and like seriously, like
God.
that literally had a colony of ants living in it. Like
Oh
not
my
like literally. So like I was
that.
like, they worked for me. I don't know. Like, and so I
have
popped
to find
into
that
your
downtime clip.
stream and I made a Discord account and you recognized my handle because it's my handle on everything. You're like, Downums, that's oh my god, it's Emily.
It's the Downey sibling. It's the
I was
Downey
like,
sibling. Yeah.
Okay, this person is talking to me on the internet.
This is
I'm
internet
like,
person.
what's
Turns out
this now?
all
Yeah,
you
'cause I
need
think
to
at that-
do
I think
to
at that
become
point-
our friend is know who we are and be excited.
That's it.
about
That's all you got.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
truly incredible about going into any sort of chat
Getting
room type
recognized.
thing, and then somebody is excited to see you, and you don't even know who they
Oh my
are,
God.
and you're
Oh,
like,
it's
"Oh
so
my
good.
God, I'm famous."
It's
I-
next level.
Ooh.
It
I
really
Out
get
of
so
that fame
excited
drug.
whenever I see any of y'all in my chat. I get so incredibly excited. Like John was off doing, you know, travel stuff for a long
Yeah.
time and was like gone. And I swear, not every time, but like of the 4 streams a week, at least 2 of them, there would be a moment where one of us would bring up your name and be like, damn, I wish John was here. And like, you become like an icon.
Well, that's also a testament to how like welcoming the Caffeine Nation is. Like,
Yeah.
your-
Yeah.
your
Absolutely.
Twitch channel. That like I've seen how all of y'all are always so excited to see everybody else, and it's just
Yeah.
like if you want a group of people that are they are gonna make you happy to be
Unbelievable.
around. You.
So
It is
wholesome.
a sweet space on the
Yeah.
internet.
It's
for
an
sure.
astonishingly welcoming community.
It is everything that I ever thought I wanted, and it's far surpassed anything that I ever thought. And it's because the people here are fantastic. They're great. They're so great, and they're just so nice, and it's just so lovely. I'm talking about you, so there. Everyone gets
Whoa.
complimented on
Oh,
this
yeah,
show,
that's-
and
that's
today
you.
guys.
it's
That's you
you.
guys.
You guys.
It's on you.
We love pointing.
So aggressive
Wow.
fingers. We all can-
So many
we can
fingers.
do it.
Yeah.
What,
Great.
what I'll say about this group of people,
Uh-oh.
I don't know how we're gonna appear on the screen, but this group of people that I'm here with, the reason we did downtime for a long time before we started doing all these other projects, before we started doing like Outlaws and Old Ones specifically. We've been terrible at social media since day one. We're still terrible at social media. We have not been good
Social
at
media's a
it.
nightmare.
We're not good at it. And I think part of it is I am like, as important as it is as like a performer to push your own shit, I'm really bad at it. When it came to pushing like advertising and being and showing up for my friends who were doing really cool shit that other people should notice, I'm really good at that. When Outlaws and Old Ones started getting edited by Taylor, and it was like absolutely up my alley. Like, I listened to the first episode that he sent to us before it was released, and I was like, this is actually legitimately incredible.
Really
and
good.
It was at that point that I was like, I'm gonna go fucking full on, I'm gonna go absolutely wild with like pushing this. I was going into Reddits and I was going into people's discords, and I was pushing it left and right, and it was so much easier because I could always fall back and say, my friend did this, and my friends are involved in this, and like the Bloody Stream is like one of my favorite podcasts because it's not because
also one of my
it's like
because it's any good. Yeah.
Not because it's any good.
It's these people who I've been friends with
my
for
stupid
over a
friends around.
decade. It's because it's a good fucking show.
No way.
And I'm very proud of it. Like, and having not been involved in it hardly at all. It's so easy for me to go on Twitter and retweet some horror shit that comes through my TL and tag them and like try and push episodes. Like, it's so much easier for me to do that than it is for me to push my own products.
I think that's something we all have in common, where it's like in person you'll never hear me like bring up any of this stuff to anybody. Like, I find it embarrassing to like be like, hey, you should check out this thing I'm
yourself.
doing. Yeah, to promote yourself. I'm like not into that.
So hard to self-promote.
I just don't want to do it. I do it because I would do this with y'all because it's fun and I want to have fun, and I do want like the small audience that we have, you know. So I'm happy it is like we have other people that promote us now. But
I always feel bad because I go the extra mile. The only thing I wanted to bring up was in Twitch chats, I always try to talk and be like, hello, how are you? But I always have a tough time talking to the streamer because of the delay. And I am someone who loves getting a stupid little dig in at the right time.
Dude, I throw them in anyway.
45 seconds later, after the conversation's moved on, it's like, funny little line. Oh, yeah. And then either it rails
Like,
what was
notice
going on,
me.
and I feel bad, or it's like, yep, cool, and it just goes past, or it's like in a different context.
I just keep throwing them in.
I always run into, and Maria knows this because we've had the interaction before, where Maria will be like, oh, it's Brian, or oh, it's Jorge, whatever. Oh, go listen to blah, blah, blah. And I immediately in the chat, it'll be the loudest, it'll be this voice that you'll hear, even though it's just typing. And I'll be like, no way, stop it right now. I actually don't
knock
want,
it
like,
off.
knock it off sort of thing. So
Yep.
it's promoing is, again, we don't do it for a job. So it's, there's less of that, like,
We have the luxury of
exactly the luxury.
Yeah.
So we don't have that like fire under our ass of like, you better fucking promote
gotta
yourself
get-
or
yeah,
else
exactly.
sort of thing.
Yeah, to be clear, if you want to
Yeah.
make this your career, you 1000% have to promote yourself.
Gotta do.
You really do. Oh yeah.
But that's why it's easy for us to also retweet and like your stuff, because we're like, fucking get this, get
Yeah, we just
Shit
want to
up the
promote
timeline.
you.
Give
them
them money.
Yes.
We should just stop mentioning any of our own content, and all of our shows
Only-
only mention Maria's.
Hey, if you
stuff.
like this,
Oh my God.
you should follow Maria.
Yeah.
Hey,
check
you're
out Maria.
watching this.
No,
go
stop it. No, cease and desist.
Show that is definitely for fans of
Like I really enjoy, I'm exactly the same way with y'all, is like I've gotten better at promoting my own stuff, but my God, if my friends are doing anything that I think is even the slightest bit cool, like even if it's not something that I'm super into, 100%, I'm gonna like, yeah, I'm a loud person. Like everybody here has met me in person now, and I'm the same volume. I get to be louder when I'm in person because microphones do eventually
they peak.
Right.
Yeah.
but I'm a very loud person. So when I have the chance to talk about the cool things that my friends are doing, or the cool things that people are doing that later become my friends, as in this situation, I 100%, I want to take every opportunity I can with whoever's in front of me to be like, hey, you're here, you're a captive audience right now. Let me tell you about this cool shit that's happening. And like now I get to say like, hey, if you like me, go and check out these people, because also I have been on these shows. So if you like me, go listen to The Bloody Stream. Go listen to Downtime with John and Emily.
John and Emily. We got a new one. We got a new one. Wait. Downtime with John and Emily.
John
Yeah.
and Emily.
Good old Jom.
John and Emily.
Like go listen to Outlaws and Old Ones, because I mean, at the very least, go listen to my episodes and then stick around for all the rest of them. Like, because
Yeah.
it's great.
No, of course,
Like, I'm glad that I get to be and chill and hang out with all of y'all. But also, it's because you all make great content, and I just get to be there and enjoy your company while you make good content. So, like, hooray, we all win.
Win-win.
Yeah. No, there's all these like networks that are like in each other's spheres, you know.
Yeah.
They have all these adjacent networks, and eventually there will be enough of them where everybody can just pay each other. And
Yes,
I
we
don't,
can
I
throw
don't know
each
where
other
the
the same
I don't know
$10.
where the money comes in through.
Right, but
But,
once it gets in, then it's
But
just
once
gonna.
it's in, then we just keep cycling.
Then we just keep going
Yeah.
around and around and around.
Yeah.
Well, I think like it's
Cash
one
injection.
one of the things that we like. Emily teased it a teeny tiny bit, where I'm gonna tease it even more. Something that has been wonderful is that now I get to take some of y'all and put you in my stuff. Because we teased it a little bit, but Goblin Society Games, if you're on this channel, is a company that I helped found. It's a TTRPG company that makes TTRPG stuff, and we're doing our first show come soon. TM. But it is going to be set in the sci-fi setting that I birthed many years ago. Savage World setting. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a cool sci-fi TTRPG show. And spoilers, y'all. John and Emily are going to be on it.
Oh my
John
god.
and Emily.
Read John
And
and
Emily.
Emily.
Read
John and Emily.
Are y'all gonna be like
each other's characters?
No spoilers about characters.
Damn it.
But no, I meant, are you gonna be
Like-
regulars? Like, is it gonna
Oh
be
yes.
and
Yeah, it's a
weekly show?
regular.
Well,
God, this
Jorge is
is
trying to shame
Oh,
Emily
trust
for
me.
not being on Outlaws every
Break-
week.
So you're
I-
I'm
saying
so
every-
excited that
I
y'all
can-
like are
I
getting
am-
on another thing. Like, that's very
I am
cool.
excited that I now get to steal some of the Outlaws for my
Absolutely.
own shenanigans.
You should.
Fuck yeah.
Because
get
I want to
rid of-
put
get us out of
get them out of here. I want to have everyone on doing everything all the time, because like it's so easy to be around you all. It's so
Aw.
so easy and fun, and like it's great. Like I spent
that
I see-
goofy gif is always what I have. Where he's twisting around. He's just
well, because I spent a little bit of time this last summer. This summer.
past summer.
It was
Past
literally just like 3 months ago. That I was.
It feels
out-
like years
yeah,
ago.
it feels like 1,000
so
years
long
ago,
ago.
that I got to spend like in real life with these people, and it was one of the first times that I got on a train and went to these people who I had never encountered in real life
was
before. Well, that's
wild.
not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. I met John at
Yeah.
at PAXU last year.
PAXU 21. Yeah.
But I was gonna stay with Jorge, and I was gonna stay with Shannon, and I don't know you all at all. Like I
I
hope
was
that
just
you're all
like,
great people. I'm gonna
I
just,
haven't.
you know,
We hadn't even spent that much time talking. I'm like, hey, we're going to a Renaissance festival. Do you want to come?
literally.
It's so funny because in the days and weeks before you were visiting, I was like, oh my God, my internet friend is going to come stay with us. And then everyone was telling me like horrible stories about like
Oh?
hanging out with their internet friends. And I was just like,
Oh.
I'm literally not even worried at all.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
There is literally
Yeah, there
not
was
one
no-
tiny part of my brain that is where I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
my friend's going to come over. It's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Exactly, and that's kind of what it was. It was so delightful to be able to like interact with you all in like a physical, tangible space, and just see like a dated, like an abbreviated day to day, because there was definitely like there was a lot that was happening.
We did a lot.
We did a lot. We jam packed those with like 5-6
felt
days
very
or
bad.
something.
We don't
Afterwards.
normally do all
You
that.
literally, Jorge got sick.
I went. It was not the. It was
Immediately
not the stuff that
afterwards.
we were doing, but I was already feeling bad and went into
Yeah.
something very bad.
Yes. But it's a testament to you all for what you see here and hear on any of their shows or anything. That's like, it's great when the people you hear doing things are the same in their productions as they are in real life. Like
It helps
Everyone
when you don't
on-
script anything ever.
I was gonna say
Also that, yeah.
You can't just simply.
Yeah,
just,
but like
can't live a lie like that. It's
exactly,
really
it's, and
hard.
also it's also exhausting. But like you
Brian
get-
knows, like I refuse to talk about anything that we're going to talk about on our podcast.
It's
I'm like, the second I have to repeat
so
it, that's
funny.
performance, and I'm not
I
doing
love
that.
that.
I
Yes.
only do improv.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's if you ever have the chance to meet any of these individuals, do so respectfully in real space. Like be respect, be
With consent.
cool. Yeah, be cool. But
No
like
autographs,
you're
jeez,
gonna,
come on.
it's your life will be better
Yeah.
meeting one and or all of these people. But if you have all of them in one call, then it's just a little bit wild.
I will
This is
say
the
that
most tame we've ever been on a
this
call.
is probably the
Sure,
best
we're being-
behaved we've been in a very
Easily.
long time.
This
We're
is
like
thought-
letting each
yeah.
other speak. Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
didn't even raise our hands.
We didn't have
guys.
to raise our hands.
Literally planned to raise our hands, and then we did it, and we did a great job.
Yeah,
you
don't
did a very good job.
I do feel like we're giving off the wrong impression about us, like just being like nice, like well behaved.
Yeah, that's
respectful
really-
Oh
members of
God, no!
society.
They're
Like,
Well, we're
absolute
nice.
gremlins. They're
Yeah.
very, very,
Yeah.
very nice people. Like some of the
Yeah, you
most.
said goblin
well,
society. And I
No,
went, yeah,
they're
mean
you're
this?
absolute
All of the
gremlins.
above.
100%.
Yeah.
They are all chaotic, and you put them all together, and it's even more chaotic.
And loud.
like
like they
and so
multiply.
loud. Yeah, and it's
I've
the
been modulating
best.
my voice so hard.
It is the best, and like I have felt so incredibly welcomed and safe with these people, like more so than I have with a lot of other groups of people. So like,
Take
It's
that, other
great.
groups of people.
take
you
that.
Should, you should see
Yeah.
Owned.
Get fucked, other groups of people.
Pone.
John, we're supposed to be nice. Come
Yeah,
on.
to each
Sorry, I-
other, though,
shit, I
right?
mean,
Like,
yeah.
No, it's because as soon as you get close enough to us, we're like you're in, and everyone else is out.
Sponge.
Yeah.
You're in group, like you just have to get anywhere nearby us, and like you're in group, and you don't get talked to like that anymore.
You don't get talked to like those other people.
Like those other people. That's also not true. Once because then you get
Yeah.
even closer, and then you get it again. You know,
Yeah,
then,
oh,
you're,
yeah,
then
yeah.
you're back
Yeah.
into
It's different.
Then you
Oh,
get
yeah,
when
then
really
when you
bad.
when you get shit on, that's when you know you've actually
Yeah.
made it. You
You made it.
actually
Oh,
made it.
it's a hot seat in this
Yeah.
group. Like,
Yeah, when you're in the hot seat, you're in it. It's
it's
boiling.
It's spicy.
very, very hot seat.
Yeah. But all of this to say, these are fantastic people that you should support. Even though it's not a full-time career or anything like that, they are making good content. Like, it is great content. I feel great saying that you should listen to literally everything. Maybe don't listen to like the first 100 episodes of Downtime with John and Emily unless you're our good friend Zach.
Please don't
But-
do that.
But like, please
But
don't though.
unless you
Like,
want to, unless you
actually
want to be a
don't do that.
completionist.
I like
Yeah.
them. I don't know.
If you want to be a
yeah.
completionist, but
It's
other
like
than like
scrappy.
It gets-
you know,
it-
it's
yeah.
I've been
scrappy.
It's
listening
cool-
to
it's
it
cool
since
and
the beginning,
scrappy,
and I
yeah.
like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, start if you're starting fresh and you have no idea who we are. Start with the most recent episode, work your way back.
It also
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
in
it's-
It'll be way
2016.
better that way. I
Yeah,
promise.
yeah, and it's not like canonical, like not canonical, but it's
Yeah.
not like chronological. It's the chronology, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
I know,
point
yes.
is,
There's
they
one,
make great content.
There's one pigeon like saga that is
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
There's like a three episode pigeon arc.
Yeah.
But besides
Yeah,
that,
it's
I
a
Everything
think
else
it's
is
a
monster
great
episodes.
There
episode.
was
Yeah,
there was
exactly.
there was a
Pigeon
thing.
arc.
Again, I want to explain it because I don't think anyone should listen that far back. But I want to say this because Emily fucking hated this idea, and I just fucking jammed it into the show. I had an idea that
They made
I
it
would-
onto your cover art too.
Yeah.
We did. I had an idea that I
No, it's
would
not.
just kayfabe, or I
John
would just like
commissioned the cover art.
I would fully pretend that I had magically turned into a pigeon and was podcasting as a pigeon for a few
Oh,
weeks.
No.
And Emily, you can hear the disdain in Emily's voice
No.
as
She
she's
does
trying
not
to play along.
to play along with the pigeon play.
No, but I'm a fucking professional.
Yeah,
I'm
damn right.
Yeah.
a not for money professional.
I love
a
that you
pigeon arc.
didn't like Dr. Joey when he first showed up.
Oh
and
my
Dr.
god!
Joey
I
was
fucking-
an
yeah.
instant crowd favorite.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. John has a great sense for those things that I just don't have. I guess.
Well, I don't know about the pigeon play.
Pigeon
either,
might have been a
but-
miss.
Yeah, He does try to introduce things often. The
You
thing about
gotta
it
shoot
is
your shots, you know.
downtime
Yeah.
is never planned either, and John will sometimes come in with this idea that he's gonna do something, like he's gonna make me improvise something. Or I think the best one I
Mm.
think we ever did of that was John and I had to write a poem throughout
Oh,
the
yeah.
episode.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, that's one of my all-time favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Like how to write a poem.
I read a
we
poem. That was good.
compose a poem throughout the whole
Incredible.
episode, and that is I will say a good episode.
That's a
We've
good
done a
one,
couple
yeah.
that are we've
That
done a couple
one,
that I'm very
slam
proud
dunk.
of. But yeah, that's a good one for sure.
That's anything,
Yeah.
baby.
That's anything, baby. Yeah.
So everyone should go follow everything that these folks are doing. Always, just even if you don't listen to every episode, you should listen to the ones I'm in. But then also
For sure.
like, show up on Thursday evenings for either Outlaws and Old Ones or games or what chill, fun, cool. Sometimes John, you was streaming every once in a while, sometimes randomly. So like,
Yeah.
just
And
follow them.
I think that's gonna ramp up too. I think
Heck yes.
my wife is going out of
Wow.
town for work for an extended period of time, and I imagine I'm going to be very, very bored. So I
Yeah.
think I'm probably the streaming on the Outlaws Network is probably going to ramp up significantly.
Oh,
in the next
hell yeah.
period.
Excellent,
So,
excellent.
in the-
Especially by
in
the
the
time
start-
that this airs, 100%.
Yeah.
John, let me
Yeah.
teach you how to play Magic. Let's stream Magic
Oh,
together.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
Yes.
The potentials are
Yeah.
endless. There's
yeah,
so much that could
Beginning of
happen.
2023 is that time period, so look out for that.
Absolutely exciting. So I want to. There will be links everywhere. Please follow everything that they're doing. There's
They're all
literally
over the place. They're
there is
everywhere.
a dedicated Outlaws Network command on my channel because I want everybody to follow everything that you're doing. So that'll be everywhere. But this has been Nightcap, and I would like you all to outro yourselves. I don't remember the order you introed yourselves, so I'm gonna start with
Chaotically.
John, and
There
then
was no.
please tell people your personal handle if you have a social media presence anywhere that you wish to tell people about. And then
Okay.
and yeah, all that. Get out of here.
I am John Downey. I am a part of the Outlaws Network. I'm in Downtime with John and Emily. I am in Outlaws and Old Ones. I've guested on the Bloody Stream. And you can find me at Real John Downey. That's JOHNDOWNEY. At Real John Downey on Twitter. That's the best place to find me. And that's kind of, I tend to share everything that the Outlaws Network does. As well as that, if you're interested in any of our stuff right now, I'm sure our link tree is available. I think
Yes.
that probably comes
It's
up
in the
first in the links.
It's in my
on
links,
the command.
yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that link tree takes you to everything. Most important being, I would say, I don't want to rub anybody the wrong way. I think the most important ones are probably the Twitch channel and the Discord.
Yeah.
And I think those
Yeah.
are pretty much right at the top. So
Discord,
Yeah.
you can definitely
The Discord
reach
is
us directly.
Get in there
so
right now.
great.
Just
Yeah.
get around on there.
Yeah.
I've been Jorge. The thing I'll focus on is the Bloody Stream. We actually have a website, thebloodystream.com,
.com.
yes.
which
Oh
you
my
can
God.
use to find out where
Yeah.
any movie is streaming.
Anyway.
Yes. Any
yeah.
movie, not just
Any-
horror movies.
Yeah,
I use this website all the time.
I use
Literally
it too.
use it
I have
multiple times a week.
yeah. So we get the data from other sites that already exist, but this one's
Yeah.
not full of ads, So it's just like
Yeah.
nice and quick. You just get it in and out. Just movies, though, no TV shows. And you can also see if we've done an episode on it. But that's only going to be
And
horror
you can
films.
see their
and one
really
Christmas
cool
movie.
rating.
And like a Christmas, I was gonna say like
It's
a
the
amazing.
really
Yes,
cool
you can-
rating system that is
The
really
rating
cool.
system is complicated. Go to the about page, or you can see
Yes.
like what
Listen to the first
episodes
episode.
Maria has been on by going to Podcast People and clicking on Maria, and it'll show a list of
I
the
didn't know
episodes they've
you
been
had
on.
a people section. I should
Yeah.
go visit your
Yeah.
website more often.
just that part of the
It
web.
works
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
technically.
It's a website.
It's a website.
Brian,
Okay, great. Popcorn over to me. I'm Brian. Do all of the stuff that Jorge talked about. So it's thank you for stealing my thunder and then also passing it over to me. So I had nothing to plug.
Social media.
You can find us at, I was about to do the outro for Bloody Stream.
There you go.
At Bloody Stream Pod is that sort of stuff. And you can find me some places at Whiskey Flask. Also, I love them to death, but if the Downies are the only people in the Outlaws Network who ever get on another TTRPG show, I'm gonna throw a fit. So fucking book somebody else as well, okay? Thank you.
Happening.
Shannon, we'll take it over to you.
I've been Shannon. I will always be Shannon. You can find me on social media at Sharnin Blarnin. figure it out. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I also guest
Got
on
it.
all of the things on the network. Everyone very graciously hosts me because my only home is Outlaws and Old Ones. Go to twitch.tv/The Outlaws Network. Catch me on Thursday nights. Emily.
All right, I've been Emily from Downtime with John and Emily, in case you missed how it's actually said.
Sounds weird.
Damn. Wow.
That feels odd.
I don't know.
Pretty sure
Fake
it's John
news.
time.
We're around. I'm also around, hopefully hoping to be more around. Things have been chaotic and are getting less chaotic, so that's very good for everyone who does anything with me. And my social media, best place to find me besides the Discord is Instagram, and I'm at Downems on Instagram if you're into dogs and gardening. So
Yeah.
that's pretty, or food. I'm like a food person on Instagram. So that's it.
Em has one of the coolest gardens. Like,
Dude.
I didn't see it in
Disgustingly
real
good.
life, but like I've seen the products of the garden, and I'm like, damn.
I've tasted the products,
I was
and that
gonna-
shit is
yeah, I was
great.
gonna say.
Wow.
Some good stuff. We're doing super hot peppers and hot sauce lately.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. And you can always slide into my DMs on Instagram. I put it out on my Instagram a little while ago. If you want me to make a hot sauce for you, I'll happily do it and send it to you. And it will be free because I'm not allowed legally to charge for them without having my kitchen
Oh.
inspected by, I don't know, some sort of. I looked into it. It was too complicated.
Oh my
so-
god, we
clean.
should
It's
we
clean,
should
don't
sell
worry.
them.
Smuggle
It's
it.
hard.
do it.
You have to
Should do it on the
endorse
black
my-
market.
Oh my
No, just
god.
sell stickers and then have the
Yeah,
hot sauce
and
bottle
then have
go
hot
with it.
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy a sticker, get free hot sauce.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Excellent.
Why does
Or
the
hot
sticker
dog.
cost $15?
You know?
Uh,
I might also be
perfect.
growing some sticker-worthy products.
Yo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, follow all these people and all the things that they're doing. You can always catch me here on this channel at happycapster everywhere that the internet exists. I'm doing a lot of things. You know this by now. Follow my socials. You'll find them out. But until next time, everyone, we have one more episode after this one, and then season 2 is done. So everyone who's here tonight, everyone who's watching, I hope that your cups are full of something delicious and tasty and that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Goodbye. Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.